Falcon Stadium, Colorado Springs, Colorado, as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 6-0 under Ty Willingham and ranked 7th in the country make their entrance before what will certainly be a record crowd. Maybe 4,000 standing tonight as ESPN College Football Saturday Night, presented by the U.S. Postal Service, brings you a long anticipated matchup here in Air Force country as the 15th ranked equally unbeaten Falcons prepare to host the Irish. Welcome, Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, Mike Golick. We have anticipated this quite a while as well. And for Air Force, if you look back in their history, the great teams they've had a few, have always featured their greatest quarterbacks. They have maybe the best they've ever had this year in Chance Harridge.
He just may be. These guys love to play football. It's the most fun they have all week. And the guy that enjoys it the most, Chance Harridge, the quarterback. Fisher DeBerry says this may be the greatest leader I've ever had the privilege of coaching. Mike.
And if Notre Dame is going to win this game, their defense is going to have to stop that leader in Mr. Harridge, and they're going to have to do it in a week of preparation they're not used to. They have to get used to cut blocks from this triple option. It's something they do not prepare for all year, and even during the week, they don't get the prep team throwing at their legs to try and cut them. So they're going to have to get used to it early in this game, Dave.
Ty Willingham, just the third Notre Dame coach to win his first 6 games. Bill has some Jesse Harper stories for us a little bit later on. Ara Parseghian won 9 in his first year, and Willingham will try to make it 7-0 out of the gate this year. He is the first to win 2 against ranked opponents out of the gate. Fisher DeBerry in his 19th year, hoping to knock off Notre Dame for the 4th time in 13 tries. He thinks he may have had one player in those 19 years that Notre Dame wanted. Not even sure of that, but his Air Force team does lead the nation in rushing at just under 340 yards. And Carlyle Holiday and the Notre Dame offense in the bottom 5 nationally. Their defense and special teams have carried them to the 6-0 start. And are the cadets ever ready? All you had to do was set foot on campus this week and you heard somebody somewhere yelling, "Beat the Irish." Notre Dame has won the toss. They've elected to defer. So Air Force will unleash the wing bone and get Harridge onto the field to get us started tonight. Nicholas Setta ready for the opening kick for the Irish. And no run back. And the Falcons will start from their 20. So Harridge, the junior out of Bon Air, Georgia. 50% passer, 15 rushing touchdowns, and 4 through the air. He's thrown only 2 interceptions. And those of you just finishing up Auburn, Florida, welcome to Falcon Stadium with a record crowd tonight in Colorado Springs for undefeated Notre Dame and undefeated Air Force. Both 6-0. Notre Dame has just kicked off. And the first play from scrimmage goes to the fullback, Steve Massey, off tackle for a gain of about 3. And Chance Harridge, who Fisher DeBerry, his head coach, says will probably be General Harridge someday. He's that kind of leader. About a 50% passer. He has scored 15 rushing touchdowns with the wing bone featuring Palmer, Massey, and Clark. Amezaga, the wideout, and Strecker, the tight end. On 2nd down and 6. Harridge had the man in motion. First option pitch of the night. And it's Leotis Palmer. Run down, but not before he gets a first down. Len Earl and Jerome Sapp followed him to the sideline as we check the Air Force offensive line. And as usual, not a very big group, but they carry out their assignments just about to perfection. Up front for Notre Dame, Roberts the leader, 6 sacks. His backup, Justin Tuck, has 4 sacks. So they get a lot of production from right defensive end. Palmer in motion this time. And then reverses field, takes it right up the middle, and a gain of about 3.
Linebackers from Notre Dame led by Courtney Watson, and he is the key tonight. If he can not have to tackle the fullback Massey and can fly off to the quarterback and the pitchman, Notre Dame's defense could be in good shape.
Walton third in the country, 5 interceptions. He's had a hand in 8 of Notre Dame's 19 takeaways. And the Notre Dame defense is responsible for more points than the Notre Dame offense on a weekly basis so far. Watson very active as well, their only returning linebacker starter. On the pitch, it's Darnell Stevens, and Vontez Duff driving him out of bounds very close to a first down, but about a yard shy. Let's check in quickly with Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, and for those who didn't get a chance to see Auburn's last gasp in overtime, down 7 to Florida. Jason Campbell, this is the 4th down play. He needs to get to the yellow line, and he cannot. Big play by Clint Mitchell to drag him down, and the Gators survive by 7 in OT.
So they avert the 3-game losing streak. Just getting started here. Air Force has 1 first down. Now they look at a 3rd and 1. There is no better team in the country at converting 3rd downs. 54% for the year. Harridge, his first option keeper, will have another first down. Derek Curry up on the tackle. (6-0) Air Force, ranked 15th. 6-0 Notre Dame, ranked 7th. And the best part of their defense is against the run, 5th in the country, and nobody runs the ball better than the Falcons. So Notre Dame up against that, up against 6,621 feet of altitude. The longer the drive, the bigger a factor that becomes. Massey up the middle. Let's welcome down on the sidelines Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Dave, Fisher DeBerry usually starts emotionally motivating his team on Wednesdays or Thursdays each week, but he always saves his best stuff for Saturday's pregame. Moments ago, he told his team, games like this, opportunities like this, don't come along too often, and he implored his team, take advantage. You will be remembered as a team for what you do tonight, and you will remember tonight for the rest of your lives. And obviously, Dave, he'd like it to be a good memory.
Not bad so far. Typical Air Force drive on 2nd down and 8. Option pitch around the left side, fighting to get around the corner. Palmer and can't get close.
Well, Bill, let's talk about what Air Force likes to do and what we're going to look for on defense. And it's very simple. Count the white jerseys on the ground. If there's a lot of white jerseys on the ground, you're going to see a lot of cut blocks by this Air Force offense. These guys like to go low, take the legs out, and have the guys on the ground. A good job here by Notre Dame staying on their feet and collapsing to the ball.
The cut block is perfectly legal. A lot of people get confused between the cut and the chop, and we'll talk about this as the game continues.
3rd and 6, Harris to the air for the first time, and going deep and incomplete. Intended for Palmer. And the Irish defense will force the first punt of the night. Walton out there on coverage.
Now, we've talked a lot about the fact that this Air Force Academy team can run the football. They run for 340 yards a game. They can also throw it with accuracy when they need to, but they do not like to get in 3rd and 6+ situations. That's not going to be conducive to success for them tonight.
John Welsh with the punt. Punters love this altitude. Vontez Duff making the first man miss, and then run down by Trevor Hightower at the 15. 46 yards on the punt by Welsh. And we'll see Carlyle Holiday and the Notre Dame offense for the first time just getting started tonight from Colorado Springs.
Lee Corso, future sportscaster star.
Kirk, you can take the helmet off.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I'll get it. Hold on. Mind if I stand? Yo. Testing. 1, 2, 3. You guys getting this or what?
Send in your 1-minute audition tape to the Discover Card Gets You on Game Day Challenge. If you win, you'll appear on College Game Day and go to the BCS National Championship. Visit your local Best Buy for details. And when you're at Best Buy, use your Discover Card. You'll earn a cashback bonus award and automatically be entered for a chance to win college football and home entertainment prizes. Just another way it pays to discover.
Dude, I haven't seen him. He was supposed to be here an hour ago. Can anyone here play the bass?
Is there a bass player in the house?
Jack Daniel's Original Hard Cola, a premium malt beverage as unique as the people who drink it. Come as you are.
Ford Explorer has been on top of the world for 11 years running. You don't get there by luck. You do it by constant innovation. Like the unbeatable combination of an expansive cargo area with the easiest folding third-row seat, a first in its class. It's just one more idea that takes us to a place no other SUV comes close to. Namely, first place. Ford Explorer, no boundaries.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Under the lights before a loud record house at Falcon Stadium. And Notre Dame, for the first time, they take over at their 15. Holiday with him out in the eye. Arnaz battle in motion. Ryan Grant with a handoff. And drags a couple of tacklers for 5 yards. Nicholas Taylor, the nose guard, hanging on the longest. Holiday out of San Antonio says by his own admission he's only been adequate. He needs to pick it up. Last week his first start since he hurt his left shoulder against Michigan State.
And his picker-upper guys, number 3, you see him there to the right, Arnaz Battle. Arnaz has made the transition from quarterback. He is a big-time wide receiver now. He can go the distance, he can run away from people, and he's had success doing just that against Big Ten schools. He'll have to make the big plays for the Irish to move the ball consistently.
Billy Palmer tight end motion. And a first down and a lot more for Grant. To the secondary and out to the 36. A gain of 15. Wes Crawley runs him down. Watch this blocking up front for Notre Dame.
And one of the things we're going to talk about here was a 2 tight end situation for Notre Dame. They say West Coast offense. Bill will talk about the smash mouth West Coast offense that Notre Dame may use tonight.
They call it the hard-nosed West Coast offense. Sean Mahan, number 79, makes a big hit there. The guys from Notre Dame off to a good start.
3 wides this time on the first down. Holiday short toss battle, making the first man miss, and now reverses field. And running away from Crawley in the open field before they'll mark him out of bounds. He ran about 50 to gain about 8. The offensive line for the Irish allowing the 5th most sacks in the country, almost 4 per game, and only 143 rush yards per game, but a good start for that group tonight. Defensive line, Coleman has missed the last 2 games with a high ankle sprain. Small but great technique. Taylor also missed with an ankle sprain last week, and they may only have 30-35 plays in them tonight. That'll take it a breather, 2nd and 2. Again, lots of room for Grant. To the Air Force 38-yard line. A gain of 18 this time. Sophomore out of Nyack, New York, averaging 88 yards per game. He's about halfway there already.
Jordan Black, 78, then Sean Milligan pulling 65, open a huge hole for Grant. A lot of space to run, and he's not even getting touched till at least the 2nd level. It's a big offensive line. And Dave, you just introduced that defensive line. The biggest man in that line, 260 pounds. This Notre Dame O-line, at least three of them go over 300 pounds.
Battle back in, back to the eye on first down. And this time, Marcus Wilson giving Grant a breather. The linebacking core for Air Force is led by the first sophomore captain they've ever had here, Anthony Schlegel, who is playing a lot like his idol. The reason he wears number 51, Dick Butkus.
Defensive secondary, you'll see 5 defensive backs. Keep an eye on Mark Marsh. They're called the Falcon positions, right Falcon and left Falcon. This defense, Richard Bell defense, is a 3-3-5, and they're asked, they're like hybrids between defensive backs and linebackers, asked to make a lot of plays both against the pass and the run.
Leading tackler on the team, and his first career interception last week against BYU in a blowout win. Notre Dame marching down the field, sacked. And the ball is loose at the 38-yard line, and Air Force recovers. John Radzinski from inside linebacker. Fifth sack of the year, tops for the Air Force, and Mark Marsh gets the recovery.
When you have a size disadvantage, you must do something to counter. This is a blitz. It was not handled well. You see Radzinski coming around the left guard here. He's clean in the backfield, and this is Richard Bell football, meaning the defensive coordinator for the Air Force Academy.
Promising drive ends abruptly, and back to work at the triple option, Adam Cole. The backup fullback, maybe a yard or so. So we're midway first quarter. Notre Dame and Air Force both 6-0. And as we look around Falcon Stadium and see every seat already taken, we also look out to the line of traffic, and there's cars still backed up all the way to I-25.
I mean, miles of them.
They're going to miss a lot of the game.
I don't know how they're going to get everybody squeezed in here. This time, Darnell Stevens trying the right side. And no gain. Courtney Watson able to screen him out. We thought there'd be SRO, and that removes any doubt. I mean, that's all that's left here.
Where are they going to put them? That's exactly right. I mean, this place.
Well, at least they don't have to stand.
Yeah, they can sit in their car for now.
In the car. I guess they got a radio broadcast.
Fisher DeBerry in his 19th year. 8th winningest coach on the active list, 3 of those 147 against the Irish. Harridge over the middle, first completion, and at midfield, fighting his way for extra yards, is J.P. Waller. And let's check in with Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, Texas and Kansas State Longhorns by a field goal. This by Jared Bright to put it into overtime with 7 seconds left. Blocked. And the Longhorns saved themselves in Manhattan 17-14. They bounced back after the disappointment against Oklahoma last week. And the Fighting Tedfords of Cal knock off UCLA 17-10.
Probably the worst week of Mack Brown's coaching career ends on a high note. A Harridge option pitch. Palmer had to shuffle his feet a little bit because Jerome Sapp came up and took the pitch man, and you can't do it a whole lot better than that.
And that is what the Notre Dame defense needs to do. You saw them swarm to the ball. There were no white shirts on the ground that time. That's what Air Force prides himself on that O-line, is cutting the people out, taking their knees out from under them, putting them on the ground. Watch all the defense of the white shirts. You're going to see them staying up, flying to the ball. They're trying to cut blocks. They're either sideswiping it or getting their hands down. A lot of standing defenders there, and that's not going to be good for that Falcon offense.
Well, we mentioned Air Force gets 54% on third down, and they say the reason is they're so successful on first down. We've got flags and whistles here. First down, they're used to 4, 5, 6 yards, and a second and short turning into a first down or a third and short. They're not used to 2nd and 11.
Delay of game. Offense.
This game has not started well for Air Force Academy. I thought the early going would be an advantage for the Academy, and it's worked exactly the other way. The Notre Dame defense has stayed on its feet. They have swarmed to the football. Their offense came out, drove the ball down the field, and even though they turned it over, they changed the field position. Notre Dame right now is dominating this football game on both sides of the line of scrimmage, offense and defense.
So second down, 16. Off play action, Harridge retreats and then overthrows Palmer.
Now Harridge has a good arm. He has nice accuracy, but they're not going to make a living throwing the football. Here's a little delay across the middle. Nice job, nice throw and catch. J.P. Waller. Now watch his eyes. This is what he does for a living. He's looking at the defensive end. The defensive end closes. He pulls the ball. That's the first option. He goes down, executes the second and third. And we'll continue that discussion.
Throwing on 3rd and 16 and throwing deep and overthrown. No chance on that one, intended for Ricky Amezaga.
Well, now 2 drives, and we see 2 3rd and longs for the Air Force. 3rd and 16 and before a 3rd and 8. And as we've talked about and will continue to say, they cannot make a living doing that at all.
No, their cut blocking is not working. The idea with a cut block, which is perfectly legal, is to knock the opponent down. The Notre Dame defenders are doing a great job of staying on their feet.
So again, Duff dropping back deep for Notre Dame. And John Welsh doing a little acting, does not draw a flag. And his punt is out of bounds at the 17. 6:36 in the scoreless first quarter.
Introducing the totally new 2003 Ford Expedition. It's the only full-size SUV with independent rear suspension for superior control and a smoother ride. The totally new Ford Expedition. Think about it the next time you go for a little drive in the rain. It has no equal. It has no boundaries.
Hello, Imagistics. Our copy machine isn't working.
What's going on?
Imagistics service call.
Machines are down. Imagistics down? No way.
For over 25 years, corporate America has relied on us, Imagistics, providing dependable office document equipment and unparalleled service.
Taco Bell's grilled steak taco tastes so authentic, you may pull a grilled steak switch out.
So you like carne asada steak?
Yeah.
Great. I've got some out on the grill.
The grilled steak taco. Tender slices of steak marinated in Mexican spices and grilled to perfection for a taste that's irresistible. For authentic carne asada steak, think outside the bun.
There's a little something to keep in mind next summer when all these preview issues come out. Notre Dame picked about 40th at best. Air Force as low as 6th in the conference. There were some teams that had Notre Dame behind teams like Illinois, Utah really struggling, and Air Force behind a team like SMU that won its first game of the year today. Just remember that, because they come in 7-15 and 6-0 across the board. 17-yard line. First drive ended in a fumble by Holiday, and this one starts with Wilson blown backwards. Joel Belo coming up. He's the left Falcon, kind of a rover type.
They come into tonight's game with 35 tackles for loss. They love to take chances and hit the gaps. Here's your Falcon. Here's everybody coming in and taking out the block here. Pressure from this side over here. They're just flying to the ball, 3-man line, but you'll rarely see 3 guys in the rush. Linebackers and Falcons will always get involved.
Loss of 3. And Rodzinski coming again. Carlyle in trouble. And a desperation throw out of his own end zone. That's 3 plays in a row now where Air Force comes as aggressively as they can.
The crowd is calling for grounding here, but the rule says if he throws the ball away beyond the line of scrimmage and he's outside the tackle box, this is not intentional grounding. But once again, Nicholas Taylor, 95, the nose guard, is clean in the backfield. They very nearly got a safety there. Monty Coleman on him in the end zone. Carlyle very wisely got rid of the football. There's Coach Richard Bell, who happened to be my linebacker coach, which aged him several years when he was a young guy. Holding up rather well, Coach Bell.
I think they may come after him again. Much better protection, but nobody open. And the deep out is incomplete.
Now understand, as you watch these men play on both teams, the sophisticated offenses, Notre Dame still learning their offense, the new sophisticated defense for the Air Force Academy taught by Coach Bell. Virtually every player on this field is going to graduate from college. 100% graduation rate by both these schools. Bright guys. Don't let anybody tell you that can't be done.
Joey Hillbold standing just inside his own end zone. And a flag down. Very high kick. Takes an Irish bounce. And now Palmer breaking 2 tackles and reaches the 35. But again, the flag back at the line of scrimmage. A 54-yard punt by Hillbold, who in pregame warm-ups was hitting some 60 and 70 yards.
Yeah, he gets it up in the air. Well, we'll see what the flag is, but keep an eye on Palmer when he's returning kicks. Strongest guy, and their strength index for Air Force, 3rd highest ever. It's incredible. A 380 bench, a 500 squat, the 42-inch vertical. That man can break tackles.
And he's 5'8", 175.
Illegal formation. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 4th down.
Well, we're talking about what Notre Dame's defense was doing well and not getting chopped and stopping the run. Bill Diedrich, the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame, said they worked a lot on the blitz pickup this week. This Air Force defense is blitzing extremely well. Notre Dame not picking it up well and getting a lot of pressure on Holiday.
He also said the key thing was to block those Falcons coming off the edge. And the very first lost yardage play in this drive was Belo, number 21, the Falcon coming off the edge. They did not get him blocked. He's the one that disrupted the play. Now, Notre Dame called for an illegal formation here because they don't have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. And by golly, they're lined up incorrectly again. The left tackle is too deep.
They come after Hillbold. Paul Mayo almost blocked it. And Palmer with another couple of missed tackles, and they'll start now from the Irish 46. This is a 50-yard punt, but a return of 13. And how close Mayo came to blocking this one.
Paul Mayo, number 1, Air Force Academy, the 2nd best kick blocking team in America over the last decade. Virginia Tech has blocked 80, Air Force 78 since 1990.
Oh, that is laying out for the ball. Fantastic effort by Mayo.
Everybody knows Virginia Tech and their kick blocking reputation. Air Force almost their equal. Palmer in motion, Harridge stumbling and losing yardage. About as uncomfortable as you'll see him running the option. College Football Thursday presented by Circuit City, and the Wolfpack of NC State barely survived Duke today. Maybe looking ahead to Clemson. 7:30 Eastern, ACC shootout. The nation's leading passer coming into this weekend, Phillip Rivers, trying to keep their BCS hopes alive, visiting Death Valley, and Willie Simmons and the Clemson Tigers. Another good one on Thursday night. Harridge losing 3. And the give this time is to Joe Schieffer. He reverses field back up the middle. Back to about the original line of scrimmage.
The thing that's interesting about this Air Force offense and what to keep an eye on is they will continue to do the exact same thing throughout the game. It's not gaining yards right now. It just takes 1 or 2 times for you to mess it up on defense, get cut that one time, take that one play off, and all of a sudden Harridge or Palmer is running down the field for a long touchdown run. You have to be disciplined the entire game against this offense.
And again, something Air Force isn't used to. 3rd and long, needing 10. Throw is incomplete, intended again for Amezaga.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's the 3rd time that Air Force has been in 3rd and long situations, meaning 3rd and 6 or more. Coach DeBerry's staff and his fine offensive coordinator, Chuck Peterson, has studied this. And if you get in 7 or more 3rd and long situations in a game, you're likely to lose the football game. You just can't afford it in this kind of offense. Notre Dame's defense doing a dominant job again tonight.
So tonight, 2 out of 5 converting 3rd downs. High snap this time. Well, sends it very high, but when they mark where this one goes out, he won't get a whole lot of yardage out of it. Robert Barker's normally the punter for Air Force with a much better average kick. This is just 31 yards. Barker better than 45 yards per kick. Welsh so far tonight. Scoreless 4:02 in the first quarter.
He's a loving father with a terrible secret.
You haven't told her what you did to her after I disappeared.
Now, how far will he go?
Make sure that no one will survive.
To cover his tracks. A new Alias, ABC Sunday, 9, 8 Central.
This time I get to drive.
Audition, premier event.
Annie, how old's your Toyota?
8 years.
You should get a new one.
On what you pay me? Huh, I don't think so.
I'm hurt.
Toyota's 03 Premier is here with 2.9 financing on all new Camrys or 1.9 financing on new Solaris. Now that's affordable.
Annie, that's a bargain.
Great. So instead of that bonus you're always promising, get me a new one.
And give up your old one? It's a classic. I heard that.
Get the Toyota's 03 Premier for great savings at your Toyota dealer now.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service. Brought to you by Ford. No boundaries.
Notre Dame again backed up. Haven't had much at all in the way of field position.
Fisher DeBerry, a deeply spiritual man. If you think he's not competitive, if you don't think he doesn't get in his guy's face, Belo playing a good game here, there's something he did that Coach DeBerry didn't like. He has high expectations for his men.
Holiday steps up, keeps, and driven down hard, and then picked up by Air Force. Marcello Brady has a touchdown.
Hicks for Air Force, a fantastic job peeling back and hunting down Holiday as he tried to weave through traffic. Puts the hit on Holiday. Holiday never saw him, lost the ball, and there's Grady taking it in for the score.
2 hits on Holiday, 2 lost fumbles. And for the extra point, 7-0 as Joey Ashcroft knocks it through. Junior out of Wrightsville, Georgia, Herschel Walker's hometown, picks up what John Hicks presented him.
Starts dancing a little bit, cut back, never sees Hicks coming from the right. Great hit, his helmet right on the ball. Excellent hit. And there's Mr. Grady to take advantage of the little kid.
Marcello Brady looking just a little bit like Herschel, maybe not quite the same speed. But this is the opportunistic defense. Nice job of scrambling by Carlyle, but the ball unprotected and the headgear on the back of it. Grady takes it in the end zone. This bunch has already forced 15 turnovers in the last 4 games. They are +10 in the turnover margin. They're +12 by now when you add the 2 they've gotten tonight. And the one thing Notre Dame could not afford, Mike, was this.
If Carlyle Holiday is going to scramble like that, he's got to be aware of his surroundings a little more than that instead of locking on downfield. Hicks with the fantastic hit. Grady, great job being right place at the right time, but Holiday got to be a little more aware of what's going on around him if he's going to be dancing in the middle of the field like that.
Well, what started as a promising play. Like he was going to get some decent yardage, and then Grady looks up 19 yards later, has a touchdown return of the fumble. Off a dangerous kick returner. And this one comes out from about 4 yards deep. Out to the 26.
All year long, Vontez Duff has wanted to make plays. He's darn sure going to do it there, coming from 4 yards deep.
Well, when you're scoring touchdowns in special teams and on defense the way Notre Dame is, you go ahead and take a few chances like this coming out of the end zone a couple yards deep.
Montez Duff, part of the defense that's used to doing what Air Force just did. They've had 19 takeaways, the Irish we're talking about, leading to 78 points. That's 13 points per game. Their defense has been created. Their offense just gave the Air Force defense 7. And they start from the 27 with Grant, who is strung out and a marker down as he's dropped for a loss. Jeff Overstreet up for the hit. Boy, they may be smaller and man for man across the board, Air Force's defenders are, but they hit with every ounce they had.
Boy, just remember, when these guys come out to play football, practice football, it's the most fun they have all day. They throw their hearts into it. I was at Thursday's practice. First thing you notice, there's 0% body fat. There's not any fat guys out there. I'm looking at Notre Dame, and they don't have any fat guys either. People are in shape, man, and they just run all day.
Down to Michelle.
Well, not only that, you guys, this is one of those defenses that brings out the best in Notre Dame's offense. They're saying they've got to stay with this team energy level, snap to whistle. We have to be as quick and as fast and play with as much energy as they play. We can't afford the 3 and outs. That was the thing from Bill Dietrich that he emphasized in practice this week. Can't afford the 3 and outs. Also can't afford the turnovers.
2nd and 12. Good way to get to a 3 and out, and Grant does well to push up near the 30, driven back from there by Anthony Schlegel.
Well, they tried to spread him out, 4 wide receivers, and then run the middle, and there's Schlegel right in the middle, leading tackler, saying, fellas, not tonight. You see the Air Force defense, they have made incredible improvements. Again, this is the first year they're going with the 3-3-5.
Now, you see that right there on his arm? I bet you thought that was a tattoo. That's real barbed wire. That guy's tough, man.
He is a sophomore who has been voted by his teammates as the captain of this football team. You want to talk about respect.
First time ever at the Air Force Academy. Well, maybe it is a tattoo.
Oh, it is. I was believing you.
But you had to wonder. Officials have timeout Notre Dame as they will discuss now 3rd down and 7. One thing Anthony Schlegel never does is take the field without having made contact before every game with, for him, really a religious artifact. That would be his autographed card of Dick Butkus.
And guess who
that's not you.
Might be.
I don't think so.
No, if it's 1969, it would. But when I see this picture right here, it still causes my stomach to turn inside out.
He is a motivator. I'll tell you, when I was in high school, I had a highlight reel that they sold of Butkus, and I would watch that before my high school games too, and use
I had a highlight reel too.
Yeah, it was
knocking me in the dirt.
Maybe you were on that reel,
Coach Lombardi used to show it to me.
That's respect right there. That is absolute respect.
Mike, let's clarify this thing about the blocking. When we talk about cut and chop, a chop block is illegal. It's a setup by one blocker and another blocker comes down and takes the legs out. That's illegal. A cut block is legal. It's done straight ahead and you try to drive through the man's knees and get him on the ground.
How successful were you at cutting Dick Butkus?
I had some success against other people. I could never find a way to. What I did was call John Mackey down. I made all the calls and he was our tight end. I let Mackey block him with an angle, and I would help them both up.
He said you went smart. Holiday on 3rd and 7. They get Battle underneath, and Battle has a 1st down. All the way to the 44. Nice call, good for 14 yards, and Charles Akinyemi finally chases down Arnez Battle, the senior from Shreveport.
You're right, Dave. It was a nice call. Spread them out. The blitz comes up the middle. It's picked up. Battle's just going to come right across, staying right at the line of scrimmage. And this is what he does smart. He turns it up the field, straight north and south. He knows he has to get 7 yards for that 1st down. Didn't try to get cute and take it sideline to sideline. Got the 1st down, put his head down, and got what he could get. Excellent play call.
Notre Dame converts its first 3rd down. Jared Clark in motion. Back to Grant. And Grant hit after a gain of a couple. Grant had 40 yards on his first 3 carries tonight, and now they finally have a fairly decent handle on him. 6 carries, though, 46 yards for the sophomore.
when you play this stunting defense, you do take some chances. You're going to get gashed from time to time. Coach Bell was very gracious in giving praise to Charlie Strong, the coordinator at South Carolina, the defensive coordinator, who gave this package to the Air Force Academy. They look for lost yardage plays.
High on second down. Here comes Schlegel on the blitz. Overran him. Holiday. First down. Holiday inside the 30. Holiday. Mark Marsh tripped up. Can't get him. Carlyle Holiday has his revenge with a 53-yard touchdown.
And you don't think that man right there didn't want a little bit of payback after twice giving up the ball to the Falcons? He wanted to make good. He scrambles. Great job by the other offensive players, turning and getting blocks, cutting downfield. And then Holiday does the rest with some fantastic moves.
Nicholas Setta, who has hit 70 straight point after attempts. Keeps the streak going, ties it at 7.
Certainly not the way we've been expecting scores tonight, huh, guys? Wow.
Tyrone Willingham is one of the really fine fundamental coaches in America. What he'll do with Carlyle Holiday is he'll get this corrected, but even on this run, Mike, this ball is waving around. He does not, once he declares to run, right now he's still thinking maybe pass. Once he turns it up, this ball needs to be secure up against his chest, riveted all the time rather than waving around. He's still waving. It could still be batted out had anybody been able to catch him.
And we saw it twice already. You're right.
He outran everybody, but he's going to need to learn to really secure that football as if it were riveted to his rib cage. Coach Willingham will get that done. He and Bill Dietrich.
You are such a coach.
I'm sorry.
We'll never get that out of him. You kidding? Carlyle Holiday's second rushing touchdown, and he had said that in this new system, the physical version of the West Coast, that he's had to do a little less improv than he was accustomed to. The abilities obviously are still there. Setta sending this one down to the goal line. Ryan Blue returns and returns it well up headed across the 30, and we check in with Reese Davis. So in a 7-7 game, Chance Harridge and the Air Force offense now with a minute 2 to work with in the first quarter. We were told the winds were up to 15 miles an hour. That's elsewhere, where this stadium is tucked up underneath the mountains. Wind out of the northwest totally blocked off, and so the flags are completely still. Harridge on the keeper and about a gain of 4. And the temperature, which was 44 degrees when we started, with a wind chill of 34, expected to drop temperature-wise into the mid-30s, wind chill-wise down into the mid-20s.
I got to say, in the early going, I thought that under these circumstances that the early quickness of Air Force would be to their advantage, but the Notre Dame defense has outcooked them.
Palmer went in motion. And let's again check in with Reese.
All right, Dave, whatever Nick Saban said to his LSU Tigers at halftime, you ought to try it more often. Down 14-6 at the half, Dominic Davis puts the exclamation point on a great second half. They outscored them 32-0, 38-14 Bayou Bengals in a blowout.
Wow, 35 unanswered LSU points in that film. That was 14-3 South Carolina late in the first half.
Somebody told Mike and me South Carolina had won the game when we were walking back up here before the game.
Must have been a South Carolina fan, hopeful fan.
End of the first quarter, Air Force took a 7-0 lead on a 19-yard fumble return by Marcello Grady. Carlyle Holiday struck back with a 53-yard touchdown keeper. So 15 minutes in the books in Colorado Springs. 6-0 Air Force, 6-0 Notre Dame. Our tie.
Log on to ESPN.com and play Six Pack, presented by Miller Lite.
That was one of the coolest scenes I'd ever seen in a movie. From that point on, I was hooked. I'm a huge Mustang fan. A lot of people have accused me of having gasoline in my veins because of that. That's the kind of absolute soul that you can't fake. If I could have one car the rest of my life, I'd have a red Mustang convertible with a throaty V8 and a great sound system. To me, life doesn't get any better than that.
There I am. I can't hear a thing. I'm trying to talk to somebody, and voila, it's a conversation bubble.
That's a winner. That's a surefire winner.
When CZB Industries created the Convo Bub, they brought the Kinko's outsourcing team in-house to cut costs and increase productivity. And when the phenomenon exploded, Kinko's grew with them, introducing the Kinko's Network. If it can help a company like this succeed, imagine what it could do for yours. Kinko's, tap into the network.
40 years ago, 1,200 passengers took a voyage that no one survived. Now,
It's an ocean liner.
no crew, no passengers. Ghost ship. The ship that went through hell.
What is it?
Has come.
We have got to get off this boat.
To take you back. Ghost Ship, rated R. Starts Friday.
There's no place like home. No place like home.
For over 60 years, Owens Corning has been advancing the science of insulation, roofing, siding, sound control, and more. And everything we've learned, we've put into one very special place, your home. Owens Corning, innovations for living.
Give me a backpack. If you look real closely, look what's coming off Jeff Fain's bald head. That's
that's a little steam.
That's steam.
Yeah. His body's a little warm. It's a little cold out.
Start of the second quarter now. Falcon Stadium, Colorado Springs. And Harridge giving to Darnell Stevens, who was tripped up on a nice dart inside by the free safety, Glenn Earl. Our ESPN game track through the first quarter. In a 7-7 tie. First for Holiday, disaster as Marcello Grandi recovered the fumble caused by John Hicks, 19 yards, but Holiday came right back. 53 yards. His previous longest run of the year was 19. Broke that one to tie. Stevens in motion. Harridge, the throw on the run is way over the intended receiver, Alec Messerol.
Let me go back to that last play when Glenn Earl caught the running back behind the line of scrimmage. Coming into tonight, guys, Air Force has rushed for 2,134 yards. They've only lost 99 yards. They've only been tackled behind the line for 99 yards worth of that. It's amazing. Rarely are they caught. So that was a huge play by Glenn Earl to get him behind the line. They are a team going east and west with the option, but rarely get caught back there. It's very impressive by this offense.
And they're forcing Air Force to do what Air Force does not wish to do, which is to throw the ball a lot.
They've never thrown more than 16 this year. They're 1 for 6 for 11, and another third and long. They give on the draw to Stevens, and Darnell Stevens comes up just shy of the first. He'll miss it by a couple of yards. Courtney Watson there for the tackle on the sophomore out of Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, said, I made a mistake. I went home after our game last week, and I watched these guys play against BYU, and I couldn't sleep. But he came up with a marvelous plan, and it's really keeping them in the situations they would like to be in. They're forcing Air Force to do things they'd rather not do. Here's the first really big situation in this football game, 4th and 2 at midfield.
They come out to go for it, or maybe do what Oklahoma did last week and get somebody to jump. with no intention of running the play. Nope, they're running it all the way, and Harridge will have the first down. Fisher DeBerry thinking to beat a Notre Dame, you have to take some calculated risks, and this one's going to work out.
We're going to talk you through the triple option again. When that defensive lineman closes and takes the fullback, the quarterback pulls right out of the fullback's stomach, and here he comes, and he sees just a little opening. He knows he only needs 2 yards, and this is what a winning quarterback does. He turns it up and he makes that first down.
He is by far the guy most used to carrying the ball. About a third of the time he'll end up with it, as he does again here, and turns this into traffic. Well, Sunday night at 9, you can catch 2 episodes of ESPN's hit reality series, Beg, Borrow, and Deal, while Team Kobe is challenging NHL goalie Fred Brathwaite in Hockeytown. Team Contact is spinning its wheels in Richmond, Virginia. And then at 10, Team Kobe looks to America's pastime to try and achieve 2 tasks, throwing and singing. Meanwhile, Team Contact up to bat as they look to strike gold on Tobacco Road. Beg, Borrow, and Deal presented by Miller Lite, Sunday, 9 Eastern on ESPN.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. 2nd and 7 for Harridge. And the late pitch. Where it can be dangerous, but they're the best, maybe, ever at taking care of the ball. Palmer brought down by Cedric Hilliard.
Now, we've been talking about cut blocks, and Notre Dame's been able to stay on their feet reasonably well. This time, we see a superb cut block by number 27, fullback Adam Cole, on number 44, Justin Tux. And there he goes on the ground. Now the quarterback's out on the grass, as we say in wishbone football. There it is. Boom, right there. Got his man on the ground, allowed the quarterback to continue where he wants to continue so that he pitches, and that's the third option, which is the pitch to the tailback.
3rd and 5, even that a little longer than they're used to. They go nowhere with the give to Cole. Cedric Hilliard again on the stop. Record crowd tonight. Should be 3,000–4,000 above the listed capacity of Falcon Stadium. One of the most, maybe the most anticipated matchup ever for the Air Force Academy. 6-0, number 15. 6-0, Notre Dame is here, ranked number 7. Air Force scoring first on a fumble return by Marcello Grady, and then a 53-yard keeper by Carlyle Holiday tied it at 7. High snap. Welsh, good directional punter, aiming for the corner, and he got pretty close. Just inside the 5.
Oh, he's going backward.
Now that back up to the 2. Even better. Well, can't do it much better than that. Air Force and Notre Dame, truly a tale of 2 seasons, a drama in 3 acts. We'll explain coming up.
Well, people think Starbucks is an overnight success. I can tell you firsthand, quite the contrary.
The opening of the first Costco was a significant moment. You're on pins and needles. You're worrying about whether or not anyone's going to show up for the opening. Nothing was quite as significant as that first one.
When we opened the first store, nobody came. But as that word of mouth spread, the volume began growing by 20 and 30%. By September of that first year, we knew we had a winner in our hands.
I think in order to run a company, you have to have the ability to inspire others.
Leadership is all about people.
In order to be successful and in order to engender enthusiasm,
you have to have the vision and the courage.
You have to have passion.
People have got to want to follow you. Success is not an entitlement. It has to be earned.
Staples.
Starbucks.
Costco. Listed on NASDAQ. NASDAQ 100 companies.
Yeah. I'm on a 10 o'clock flight.
Business trip, huh? Remember, you can achieve success anywhere. For example, I've caught touchdown passes in all these cities.
Jerry, but I've thrown touchdown passes in all of these cities.
I was here first, Steve.
So?
You backup quarterback?
Butterfingers.
You pretty boy.
Slowpoke.
Wherever business takes you, Courtyard has what you need to be successful.
Sports analyst.
Step away from the vehicle.
Now make 3 stays and earn 2 free nights. Call 1-888-MARRIOTT. Courtyard, your Marriott awaits.
Oh.
Almost looks like the Olympic flame back there. It's actually just to keep the game day crew warm. We'll hear from Chris Kirk and Lee coming up at the half as the folks that get them on the air.
Doesn't look too Olympic, though.
Colorado Springs own Chris Fowler. Back home. They finally decide that Welsh's punt went out at the 6. Raymond McKnight in motion. Ryan Grant with a nice burst back up the middle, should have another first down. Well, this tale of 2 seasons has indeed been dramatic. Act 1, Scene 1. We take you back to September 7th. Notre Dame, Purdue, and that's Vontez Duff intercepting the tip pass. 33 yards later, a touchdown to give the Irish a win. Meanwhile, New Mexico against Air Force in New Mexico, failing on 4th and 13 from the 16. Casey Kelly's pass tipped away, and Air Force won 38-31 in overtime. And there is a lot more to that story. First down. This time they've got Grant and Schlegel right there on him at the line of scrimmage.
What this defense does, again, with the 2 Falcon positions, again, kind of tweeners, 3-3-5, gives them 8 guys up in the box, a lot of times more up there than there is to block. And then you add in the backside speed of these smaller players, but they're fast. They make up for it coming backside. And if that running back gets held up at all and has to cut back, those backside defenders are right there to make the play.
The average start for Notre Dame has been their own 15-yard line. Average for Air Force has been their 36. So again, Notre Dame fighting the field position. Grant with a huge hole. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 3 as Wes Crawley has the tackle this time, the left cornerback. Bill Diedrich, after 4 years coordinating the offense at Stanford, says in general we're very close to getting where we want, but we're still pretty far away. What he means by that is the details are still escaping a lot of it.
It's, again, these are guys that haven't played this type of an offense. It's their first, and now they're 6 games into this new offense. They're still learning exactly right the finer points of it, Dave.
Carlos Campbell in, the motion down on a 3rd and 3. And again, great blocking. Grant into the clear and finally written out way up at the 45-yard line. A gain of 30. And so far, Air Force has had no answer for Ryan Grant.
It looks like Jeff Fain, the center, number 52's ankle is just fine. He took on Anthony Schlegel, the main man in tackling. Watch number 52 right here on the middle of your screen. Beautiful job by the center. And it just opens up the hole, and he finishes the job and drives him in the dirt, and that's what you're supposed to do to middle linebackers. That's just Schlegel's got to keep his pads down.
Yep, big men on small men.
That's right.
Grant close to 100 yards already, 10 for 94, all day for Holiday. Holiday going deep in single coverage, intended for Battle and incomplete.
Holiday's pass intended for Battle is incomplete.
It's that taking a chance every now and then. They're running the ball, and then take a shot over the top. Air Force is going to be in a lot of zone coverage. They're not going to let a lot of people run past them. And they didn't. The ball really hung up in the air for Battle, but Mayo was not letting Battle get behind him.
No, but it was a nice throw by Holiday because only his guy was going to be able to catch it, if anybody was going to catch it. And I like the call. First down, 45-yard line. You just made a big first. Take a shot. Being bold.
It's also looking like Holiday's shoulder is just fine. Injured the left non-throwing shoulder about a month ago. This time it's Marcus Wilson taking advantage of the blocking. Good for 17 yards before Mark Marsh chases him down.
We talk about, again, the run blitzes by the defense. Sometimes you get gashed, and we're seeing this Falcon defense get it a little bit now. And again, big guys. Here's Fain again, 52. The turn back block. They're opening up huge holes. Godsey, the tight end, is actually coming around to block on the pull. A lot of room for these guys to run. They're not getting touched again until the 2nd level. This is a man right here. This is a football player. He is one of the best centers, rated one of the best centers in the country.
So they've moved from their 6 to the Air Force 28, and again called on Wilson, sophomore from Staten Island, New York. Coming in, had carried only 12 times all year, but the way Grant's going, he's going to need a few breathers.
Now, even with the mistakes that Notre Dame has made, this game is at the tempo they would like. Air Force has not been able to come out and get them all winded up here in this altitude and keep their defense on the field for long drives. The defense has played well, and the offense has kept the ball and changed field position. Now the offense needs to punch it in and score points if Notre Dame is to do what Coach Willingham wants them to.
Pounding away out of the eye this drive. More of the same. Grant back in. And up for a quick hit is Joel Belo, joined by Schlegel.
And we'll see the effect again. We're up here in the high altitude, over 6,600 feet, and we saw Bill on the sideline for Notre Dame, a couple of big oxygen tanks, and Michelle will let us know if the players are using those and when they're using those. But you're right now the tempo is favoring Notre Dame because either side of the ball is not out there for an extended period of time.
And Mike, the offensive line of Notre Dame was using those oxygen tanks after that last drive that scored a touchdown.
Starting already, not surprising at all in this altitude for these guys to want to use
They
that.
come after Holiday with a blitz on 3rd and 6. Has to scramble, throws, open, incomplete, a little too tall for Omar Jenkins, who was wide open inside the 10.
That's a rare blown coverage by Air Force. Somebody came out of his zone, did not play responsibility. When the quarterback begins to move, you must stay in your zone. Whoever the corner is, Paul Mayo, number 1, that was deep 3rd. He should have been there, and he knows it. This could have very easily been a touchdown. Holiday would love to have this throw back.
So close. Here comes a 41-yarder for Seta. They would have a 16 with a long of 51 on the year. Started it right, had no hook.
Seta has really struggled. He's been 3 out of his last 10, now 3 for 11. I thought he was fantastic as a kicker a year ago.
So we stay at 7-7. 7:04 to go in the first half. And Air Force back on the attack when we return.
Every Saturday, I get together and play football with the guys. But this Saturday, I had to take a time out.
Hey, Steve, you okay? It's my throat. It's all dry. Hey, mine too. I think I got just what you guys need. Come on.
It was a good thing Brad was there. He explained that we were thirsty, and he gave us ice-cold Bud Lights. He told us that by drinking the Bud Light, parched feeling would go away. You know what? He was right.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Yeah, hi. I'm having a problem with my PC.
No, it's not us. Call the makers.
Wait. What? Hello? Yeah, my PC isn't, yeah. I tell them no calls.
Wait. Not us.
But, wait, I have a... Wait.
Boiler room.
Boiler room?
Tired of getting the runaround? Then come to your local Gateway store, where our friendly staff is ready to help you. We offer in-store training and service, plus all the cool stuff you need to make sure you get the most from your PC. Gateway, a better way.
Without a Yamaha ATV, you're not going very far. The Grizzly 660 Automatic from Yamaha. The only ATV with push-button front diff lock and 4-wheel independent suspension. The Grizzly 660 Automatic. Where you go now is up to you. Now get a Warn winch with select models plus 0% financing on every Yamaha ATV.
Max Kellerman knows sports. Just ask him. Around the Horn, a full-contact sports show, premieres Monday, October 28th at 5 Eastern on ESPN.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Seth Bretcher, and we are at Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, and we are going to be here for about, the next 5+ months or so. And we are here to cheer on the Air Force Academy as they kick a little bit of Notre Dame butt. Take it away, fellas. Air Force! Air Force! Air Force! Air Force!
Yeah, it sounded about like they were right here on campus this week.
They got the sign and everything working.
Air Force holding their own so far, despite being badly outgained. Still 7-7. Harridge's pass is almost intercepted as it's batted into the air by Courtney Watson down to Michelle.
Well, the last time that Notre Dame's defense was on the bench, defensive coordinator Kent Baer told his linebackers in particular on 3rd and 6 or more, so look for this, guys. When Air Force sees the Irish in their nickel package, they're going sprint draw. And he said, really look for it on every 3rd down. We'll see it's 2nd and 10, so likely be a 3rd and long. We'll look for it then.
Bears trying to cross him up by throwing on 1st down. Now 1 out of 7, 11 yards. They've only rushed for 55 so far. Harridge keeping. I don't think he even gets a yard.
There are no white shirts on the ground right now. Notre Dame defense is doing an excellent job flowing to the ball, Bill, and staying on their feet.
You see that big guy in the middle of our screen right here? That guy, Hilliard, is just all over the field. Cedric Hilliard, watch him, number 50, coming inside out. He has played a wonderful game. He's plugging up the fullback, chasing people, getting in on tackles. He is really, really a good football player.
Here's the 3rd long Michelle was just talking about.
Somebody better block Cedric if they're going to run that sprint draw.
2 out of 7 on 3rd down. Harridge blitzed, retreats, and they've got a nice little screen set up perhaps. Don Clark is run down at about 32.
Yeah, and look who ran him down. That guy weighs 295 pounds. He's not winded. He's all over the field. I really like Cedric Hilliard.
And we'll get into how that will help. We have unofficial, I believe, for 6 tackles. If he can make the tackles on the fullbacks, how that's going to help the linebackers flow to the rest of that option.
Hey, he looks like a young Mike Golick to me.
Thanks, Bill. I'll give you the money a little later.
Well, this time they go to Robert Barkers for the punt. Averages better than 45 yards per kick, and they're looking for distance and not necessarily a placement here. They do like to keep it away from Duff, though, and it'll be marked out at 21, a 47-yarder. Speaking of a young Mike Golick, just brings to mind some of the great memories we all had. His video,
Here
number
he is.
55, he weighs about 240 back then.
That's a cut block.
I got cut.
Watch this, though. Watch him feather. Nice job. Run it down. Out of the way, Michael. See, they're not getting him on the ground now. Got the other guy on the ground.
But I tell you, the first one, though, you saw us get cut. I lost 3 out of my 4 years to Air Force. They did a fantastic job of running the ball on us back in the mid-'80s.
Notre Dame has had success going up the middle. This time Air Force strings Marcus Wilson out. Now, Mike, every time you came here, you had to deal with the same thing these guys are dealing with, the triple option, the altitude. What was it like?
It is difficult. If they have you on the field for a long amount of time in the beginning, as Bill talked about, you do get short of breath. Believe me, I was in the oxygen tank an awful lot when I was here. But the thing is the frustration, because you see you're bigger, you're stronger, you're faster than these guys, yet we're not tackling them. We get to the 3rd and 4th quarter, and they're still running on us. It gets to be so frustrating. Now, that was then. Now, the Notre Dame defense is playing it extremely well, but we certainly struggled against Air Force in my 4 years.
Holiday with a nice play fake. Schlegel has him. Still gets the pass off incomplete, intended for Battle. Little 360 thrown in for good measure by Holiday.
Wow.
It's kind of ugly.
That was some ballet now. Schlegel in hot pursuit. Holiday's using all his moves tonight.
I don't know, but he might want to rethink this one.
This is a middle linebacker's job in most coverages. When the quarterback breaks contain, the middle linebacker scrapes. If he's not in the zone, a 360 and a high ball. Ooh. And Arnaz had a little trouble hemming it up.
Well, thanks to Jeff Overstreet. Literally jumped over him to knock that one free. 3rd and 8. Cadets are up for this one. On their end of the field. Out of the gun, they blitz him. He'll keep again and have another 1st down. To the 42-yard line, 18 yards.
Bill Dietrich talked about, actually in jest, I said to him when we got on the conference call, well, Bill, a little extra blitz pickup this week. He said, oh, man, they come from every direction. This is beautiful. Everybody, look, a white shirt. Look at this pocket. Beautiful. Blitz, 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 all picked up. That's why Holiday had a chance to look. Nobody's open. He makes the decision to run. 1st down. Nice job up front and by the backs.
Holiday's kept 4 times now for 72 yards, including the 53-yard score. Now back to the tailback, and Wilson getting this series.
And how this is going to work as a domino effect, and we saw it the last time they had the ball, guys, when you saw, we talked about how Paul Mayo, the defensive back for the Air Force, came up a little bit when Holiday broke the pocket. When you have a successful quarterback running the ball, what happens is when he breaks to the outside, the defensive backs are kind of hung in an area as you see the dominance in total yards. Should we come up and play Holiday, or do we stay back in our coverage? You may see them start to come up now because Holiday has run, and then Holiday will just throw it right over the top.
2nd and 3. Things you can do, one of which is give it to Mike McNair, the fullback. And on his first carry of the year, he picks up 11. ESPN Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS, providing up-to-the-minute NFL news, comprehensive analysis, live interviews with Stuart Scott, Tom Jackson, Ron Jaworski, Sterling Sharp, and Chris Mortensen, beginning at 7:30 Eastern. All the news from the best of the business, leading up to Monday Night Football. And Al Michaels, John Madden this week have the Colts of Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, and Edgerrin James against Jerome Bettis, and the Steelers at 9 Eastern Monday. Grant back to work now. And stuffed pretty well for one of the few times.
You know, that Monday nighter with the Colts and the Steelers have been beaten. We saw when New England beat them and the Raiders beat them, they threw a ton against them, but don't really expect the Colts to do that. That's, even though we have Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, that's not their game. When they throw over 40 times a game, they have an awful record. And of course, when Edgerrin James rushes for over 100 yards, they're very successful. So that's really their bread and butter. Don't look for them to heave it all over the place, even though that's been the Steelers' Achilles heel on defense.
Pittsburgh, a trendy preseason Super Bowl pick for that of the AFC. Grant hits his hole all the way for another first down inside the 30 of Air Force. 11 more yards.
And we pointed out Coach DeBerry being a fiery competitor. All we hear about Tyrone is that he's so stoic. Well, he'll get in people's face too. When he wants things done properly, he's all over Billy Palmer here, 85. Now he's up and down the sideline. Don't ever think there's not a lot of fire in these coaches because they look stoic when you get a shot of their face on television. You don't see everything. You don't win like these guys are winning without being fiery with your men.
13 for 107 now, better than 8 yards per try for Grant. And they go right back to him. And let's check in with Reese for what he's got for us at the half.
All right, Dave, coming up on the Saturn halftime report, a shocker in the Pac-10. The nation's second longest winning streak is over, and you've heard the luck of the Irish. How about the luck of the Longhorns? They turned in some in the Little Apple tonight. We'll also get you up to date on the World Series. Barry Bonds exercising those postseason demons. We'll see if the rally monkey can get the Angels back in it.
The rally monkey.
Exorcising the demons and the rally monkey, going to get them back in it. That'll be fun.
Holiday up to the line, and then a timeout call, his second. 1:46 to go in the half.
Week 7 is here, and the Countdown crew is feeling punchy.
YMCA.
We'll talk to Mr. Sharpie himself.
Is that a pen?
He had a pen in his sock.
Meet Brett Favre's backup.
I didn't know I had one.
Enough with the jokes, please, will you?
Ward examines the Ricky Williams effect.
There he goes! Bye-bye, Ricky!
Plus, John Madden and a closer look at the 49ers and Saints. Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
Carrier's Weathermaker Infinity is the world's most totally efficient gas furnace. With our exclusive Comfort Heat technology, it can save you up to 40% on your home heating costs.
Get a special fall furnace rebate from your participating Carrier dealer. To find your local Carrier dealer, visit us on the web at indoorweatherexperts.com or call 1-800-CARRIER. That's 1-800-CARRIER.
Carrier, 100 years of innovation.
Are you tired of being in debt? Hi, my name is Michael Mack and I'm an attorney. I've got good news for you. In only 4 minutes from now, you can change your life simply by calling the free 24-hour recorded message. Discover how to file bankruptcy with no money down and easy, flexible payment plans. Discover also how to get free credit restoration after bankruptcy. Don't just get out of debt. Get a real fresh start. 800-414-0005.
With 1:46 and a half, Notre Dame has a second down and 6 coming from the Air Force 25. So good position and obviously plenty of time to take a lead perhaps going into the half. And there's a lot of green around here. There's a lot of guys looking like leprechauns.
You know, we just talked about my career at Notre Dame and the trouble we had here, but anywhere Notre Dame travels, they certainly have a big following.
A lot of people love Notre Dame. I was at College Park High School in College Park, Georgia. Our fight song was the Notre Dame fight song. So we all pull for Notre Dame.
Some of their fans bought Air Force season tickets just to make sure they would have their seat guaranteed for this one. And inside the 20, close to the first down. First carry, Tom Lopinski gets starting fullback, hit by, again, Schlegel and Joel Below.
Bill, let's talk about our trends that we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. Notre Dame, the smash mouth West Coast offense, seems to be working right now for Air Force. How many defenders of Notre Dame could they cut? That hasn't worked very well either, and we will, well, they're going to measure for the first down here. It hasn't really worked for Air Force. It's worked for Notre Dame, but it's 7-7.
Notre Dame has more yards now than they've gained in a lot of football. They only average 293 yards, and I'm guessing they're close to that right now. They have knocked Air Force back and have controlled the line of scrimmage on offense. On the other side of the ball, they have not been cut. They've stayed on their feet. They have run down Chance Harridge and Palmer on the pitches. They have not been baffled by the triple option. They have played marvelous football, but for the mistakes, they'd probably be up a good bit more than they are.
Fisher DeBerry, I'm certain will tell them in the locker room at halftime, hey, we have not got our offense untracked yet. We haven't stopped them very well, and at this point, it's tie score.
Yeah, they're at 253 now, and their normal game production is 293, and we're not even through with the first half. So they got to be, Notre Dame's got to be pleased with the fact that they've moved the ball so well, and a little sad that they hadn't capitalized more.
They've held his attack to 73 total yards. My question, now, if they don't get it on third down, is this 4-down territory with the trouble Seta is having?
I believe it would be.
I think especially on this hash, and especially since it's third and so short.
Just one to go. Battle set in motion. Holiday will keep and have a first down to the 18.
They're just getting excellent movement, and the way they're doing it, Notre Dame has been playing against other people sort of equal talent like Pittsburgh, and they play high. Air Force plays low, and these guys have obviously practiced, and they're getting their pads down, and they're knocking the Air Force guys back. I really admire them for that. That's hard to do in a week's time.
Clock continues down near a minute. Notre Dame has one more timeout. Winding away out of the eye. Short drop pump fake. Holiday looking end zone and has to throw it away. Good coverage that time by Akinyemi, who stayed with Jenkins.
Akinyemi did not bite on the pump fake, which was really smart. Very nice job by Akinyemi.
It would be interesting if Notre Dame, obviously they'd like to get it in the end zone, but if not, they really need to set up Seta where he likes to kick the ball from. Because he has been struggling, as you guys have mentioned, kicking field goals.
He's such a good kicker. I would try to get it off this hash. This is a tough angle for a right-footed kicker. I would try to get it in the middle of the field if they're thinking field goal.
Both receivers to the opposite side. Now here's Battle. And here's Grant. And he's had holes like that all night. Foot race to the end zone. Touchdown.
Ryan Grant, the ball carrier for Notre Dame.
Well, that was a lot better idea than mine.
Yeah, better than the field goal.
Hand it to Grant, knock everybody down. You got to hand it to the big guys up front, and especially in this case, add in the fullback, 36, Tom Lipinski, who looked up Mr. Schlegel, 51, decked him, and a nice run by Grant.
I don't think he got touched. And when that happens, you turn right around and shake your offensive line hand and the fullback. Absolutely right.
His 6th touchdown run of the year. Seta struggling with field goals, but still perfect on PATs, and Notre Dame has its first lead. Ryan Grant needs to go in at halftime and personally thank all his linemen, because this is a typical scene for him in the first half. Gaping holes, and he was not touched.
What a great room. So comfortable. How about that breakfast buffet? All you can eat. I can't believe a room only cost us $99 a night. $99?
For both of you?
How did you get such a great deal? Hotels.com. Hotels.com.
Save on thousands of hotels worldwide. Hotels.com. The best prices at the best places, guaranteed.
What have you been up to, Mr. Moneybags?
It's okay. I put it on the credit card.
Those interest charges are going to get us.
Don't worry. It's our new Capital One No Hassle card.
Check your mailbox today for Capital One's No Hassle Card offer. Great low rates and none of the hassle.
What's in your wallet?
Shaman, the incredible new album from Santana. Includes the smash hit single, The Game of Love, featuring Michelle Branch. Plus other collaborations with some of today's hottest artists, including Dido, Chad Kroger, P.O.D., Music, and much more.
To order Santana Shaman, call the number on your screen or send $18.98 for CD, $15.98 for cassette, plus $4.95 shipping and handling to the address shown. And receive the Santana Limited Edition poster with your paid order. Call now. Rush delivery available.
Air Force has barely touched that man. Ryan Grant has 15 carries, 129 yards, and the touchdown to give the Irish the lead. His best game of the year was 132 against Michigan. Already close to that with 1:01 to go in the half. Chance Harridge forced to watch another long Notre Dame drive. 12 plays over 4.5 minutes. Sends a low liner all the way through the end zone.
Well, we talked about this Notre Dame defense and what they'd have to deal with coming in this one time a year with the option. Play discipline and stay on your feet, and that's exactly what they've done. If you have the quarterback, they're staying on the quarterback. If you have the fullback, you stay on him, and then everybody else is flying to the ball. What's impressing me the most is the white jerseys that are standing and running to the ball. This Air Force offensive line and backs are not getting to the legs of these athletes on the defensive side of the ball for Notre Dame. They are doing a fantastic job of this.
Air Force has 56 rushing yards. This is the #1 running attack in the country. They average 339. When the pitch is made, in almost every case, there's been at least 2 defenders there waiting, and Palmer this time finds that the case.
And again, they're staying home. Again, we're seeing the proper technique. See, stay on your man, take the quarterback, don't let him cut up. Great job by Ryan Roberts and cutting in.
I want you to explain to the viewers what staying home means.
Ryan Roberts staying home on the quarterback. As Harridge comes down the line, Roberts doesn't give him the inside lane to cut back to. He stays on him and makes sure he pitches the ball in time for his rotating defense to get over and tackle. And we'll show it in replays. I'll explain it even better for you that and show you exactly what I mean. But basically what they're doing is they're taking Chance Harridge out of the game. They're not giving him lanes to cut into. They're doing a great job of that. But be careful. It only takes a couple of runs by this Air Force offense, and they're more than capable of doing that.
What Notre Dame has done on the ground and what their defense has done against the ground attack of Air Force, absolutely magnificent. And Michelle is with Ty Willingham.
And you've done so well defensively against this team, holding them to just 1 defensive touchdown. How has your defense been so effective, Ty?
Well, first of all, we're very fortunate right now. We've been able to kind of take the quarterback away and not give him his normal running lanes. If we can continue that, we've got a chance in the second half. But we've really got some work to do.
Your offensive line has really controlled the line of scrimmage. How much will you rely on ball control in the the second half to keep their offense off the field?
Well, the first thing is ball control is important, but we've got to score some points, and we've got to get our offense kicked in gear. We've had a couple drives that we've kind of stopped ourselves with a couple fumbles, and we can't afford to do that.
Ty, thank you.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Dave.
They have found a way every week. One thing to keep in mind, the best quarter this year for Air Force is the third. They've outscored their opponents 58-6. Our Saturn halftime reports coming up. We're 14-7 Notre Dame over Air Force. Back now to Reese Davis.
Dave, excellent point. That shows the type of adjustments that Fisher DeBerry is able to make. 14-7, the Fighting Irish up on the high-flying Falcons. Glad to have you with us on the Saturn halftime report. Trev Alberts is here. And Trev, speaking of making adjustments, you feel like Notre Dame has offensively.
Yeah, Bill Driedger, offensive coordinator, I think has done a great job, because the bottom line for Notre Dame is they run the West Coast offense. I mean, but he's looked at this game and said, here's a weakness at Air Force. We need to get in the I formation and pound the football with Ryan Grant. They've done that. The offensive line has taken over. And defensively, Notre Dame, disciplined defense. That's why they're winning.
They have been very good so far. Coming up on the Saturn halftime report, we'll delve into the Big Ten. A big weekend coming up in the Big Ten next week. Michigan trying to set things up for itself. A trip to Ross-Ade Stadium this afternoon. And look at the Sun Devils going to Autzen and scorching some Ducks.
Chris, Kirk, and Coach. ESPN College Game Day. Saturdays at 10:30.
Stamps. At supermarkets. Stamps. By phone. Stamps. Online. Stamps. At ATMs. Along with your local post office. Wherever you find this symbol, you'll find stamps. Conveniently located. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service.
Now's your chance.
Give it a whack.
To get the special edition DVD.
It's gonna be fun.
Loaded with special features that'll knock your socks off.
I'm just kidding you, pal.
Adam Sandler is Mr. Deeds. Buy it October 22nd on DVD and video.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room. More people room. Or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy, it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
The difference between Quick Lane Tire and Auto Repair and all others is night and day. Only Quick Lane is open all day and all night, 7 a.m. to midnight, which means Quick Lane's factory-trained technicians and state-of-the-art equipment are available to you day and night. Quick Lane also offers free towing and free loaners. All work is guaranteed and all services are covered by this low price guarantee. Get an oil and filter change now for only $19.95. Quick Lane, the difference is day and night. 1/2 mile north of I-55 on Route 83 in the Woodlawn Plaza next to Dunkin' Donuts.
Are you tired of being in debt? Hi, my name is Michael Mack and I'm an attorney. I've got good news for you. In only 4 minutes from now, you can change your life simply by calling a free 24-hour recorded message. Discover how to file bankruptcy with no money down and easy, flexible payment plans. Discover also how to get free credit restoration after bankruptcy. Don't just get out of debt. Get a real fresh start.
800-414-0005.
This halftime report presented by Saturn and its redesigned L Series, the Saturn View, and coming this fall, the new Ion.
And glad to have you with us on the Saturn halftime report. We started the day with 10 undefeated teams. You know, by the end of our game, we will be down to at least 9. There's always room for the unexpected. Oregon had the nation's second longest winning streak, 11 in a row against Arizona State. Oh, man. Ontario Smith, 57 yards. He went for a $172 on the day. but Oregon couldn't hold a big lead. They were up 21-10 at the half. Andrew Walter finding Justin Taplin, second touchdown of the day, and the Sun Devils were back on top 39-35, but Jason Fife comes back.
Yeah, you see Jason Fife, a nice pass here to Sammy Parker. Beautiful catch in the end zone, touchdown. Game tied at 42 at that point.
But the Sun Devils marched right back down. Mike Barth, 29 yards out. Dirk Cutter, the former Oregon offensive coordinator's team, is up by 3. Fife trying to save his team. He gets drilled as he throws, and Brett Hudson is there to pick it off. And Arizona State with the upset, 45-42. They are 3-0 in the Pac-10.
Unbelievable. Andrew Walter, just an unbelievable day. Over 500 yards passing. We wondered about Oregon's defense. Defensive backs, were they good enough? Obviously today, not good enough.
They are youthful back there, but they got flat scorched by Walter and the Sun Devils. Texas trying to bounce back from the Oklahoma disappointment against Kansas State. Chris Sims, beautifully thrown ball. B.J. Johnson set up a field goal. Texas took a 3-point lead. Boy, Sims took it right in the teeth there and delivered the ball.
You got to give him credit. He hung in there, took a shot, still delivered. Here's L. Roberson, 2nd and 18. Finds James Terry, 26 yards.
And K-State is in field goal range, and 7 seconds left on the clock. We are headed into overtime. Here is Jared Bryant to put it into overtime. Blocked! The eyes of Texas are upon you, and the arms of Texas were upon the field goal attempt. And the Horns hang on 17-14. Gutsy performance.
Very important win, obviously, for Mack Brown and Texas. And Chris Sims, like you said, got a lot of pressure, but did deliver when he had to.
Okay, so Texas didn't suffer after the Oklahoma game. What about the Sooners themselves? I would say they were just fine. Against Iowa State, Quentin Griffin we're going to see score here, but the story of this game, the Oklahoma defense, which was absolutely dominating, held Seneca Wallace to under 50 yards of total offense, 49-3 the final.
It was simply the speed, Reese. I mean, I don't think Seneca Wallace and Iowa State had seen the closing speed from the defensive backs. Brandon Everidge, huge day. Derek Strait, block punt. That set the tone right at the beginning of the game when he blocked that punt.
49-3, the Sooners are rolling in October. Moving to the Big Ten, Ohio State and Wisconsin. That is Craig Krenzel to Ben Hartsock for the touchdown. But it's a 19-14 game. Jim Sorgi going up. Look who's in the defensive backfield again for the Sooners. Chris Gamble, just like the Cincinnati game.
Yeah, unbelievable. I thought Craig Krenzel was the key in this game. He made some passes when he had to.
19-14 the final. Michigan and Purdue at Ross-Ade Stadium. Brandon Kearse got his first career start over Kyle Orton for Joe Tiller's team. Purdue down 7-0. Brandon in with Kearse. Passed for 182 yards, ran for 81 more. Boilermakers had it tied. Reverse! Calvin Bell. Oh, did he step on the line? Tough to tell from that angle.
I like the block by John Navarre. I like the big fella out front, Reese.
Yeah, if the big fella quarterback gets out and makes a block, we don't care if he sort of grazes the sideline. Well, we do, but, you know, we want to give him his love. 23-14 Wolverines. You see Orton coming back into the game. Picked off by Kaufman, 23-21. Michigan hangs on. A couple of other scores from the Big Ten. Iowa, 24, Indiana, 8. The Hawkeyes are now set up for next week, which we will talk about momentarily. And Minnesota quietly off to a great start. They go into East Lansing. They win at 28-7. The Golden Gophers are 7-1. Northwestern and Penn State. Joe Paterno looking for win number 332, and Larry Johnson wanted to make sure he got it.
Well, he just sets up his blocks here, finds the hole, and Northwestern's defense just is not playing very well. Bad tackling, bad angles. The whole story of the game was Larry Johnson. If you looked at Larry Johnson, he probably had the ball, and he probably had a huge game.
He had 257 yards, 49-0 the final. You compare Larry Johnson's season to last year, actually to his first 3 seasons, you see the production is just off the charts. The 257 yards he rushed for a school record today, breaking Kurt Warner's record. So we're set up for a huge week in the Big Ten next week. Ohio State and Penn State, and the game you're really looking forward to when Iowa goes to the Big House.
Yeah, I think Iowa's the best team in the Big Ten. I think we're going to find out more about Iowa when they go to Michigan. But if you look at Michigan right now, John Navarre, I think, is really starting to get in a groove, playing very well. But then the Iowa defense, that was the question mark. We knew about the Iowa offense, Fred Russell, guys like that, Brad Banks. But defensively today, I thought they stepped up. Again, 3 turnovers, 6 sacks. Can they get pressure on John Navarre? I like Iowa. I think they're the best team in the Big Ten.
And the Iowa offense can hit a home run. Over 20 plays of touchdowns of longer than 20 yards. And speaking of home runs, Barry Bonds has delivered one in Game 1 of the World Series. He's 1 for 3, and his Giants on top of the Angels 4-3. The Rally Monkey's going to have to get busy. 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth. The Angels trying to rally in this game. Carlyle Holiday has the Irish on top of Air Force. A nifty run here as Carlyle goes in 14-7. We're back after this.
The Saturn Vue comes standard with four-wheel independent suspension. Split folding rear seats for more cargo space.
Let's go. We're losing light.
And electric power steering. The Saturn Vue. Get in, get away. Get a 2003 Saturn Vue at 0% APR, 0 down payment, and 0 monthly payments for 90 days. See retailer for restrictions.
My son Jerome and I are making sure everyone in Pittsburgh is eating good.
The bus.
We bought you some nice, hot, chunky soup to fill you up right.
Campbell's Chunky Chicken Noodle, loaded with big, hearty noodles and chunks of tasty chicken. More chicken than before.
Want a bowl of frame? Yeah, I'll try it.
Could I get your son's number?
Sure. 36.
Campbell's Chunky Chicken Noodle fills you up right.
Of all the ovals in racing, only one helps you get to the finish line.
The United States Air Force Academy offers a 4-year education like no other. The Academy focuses on 4 pillars of excellence: academics, military training, athletics, and character development. Cadets graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree and a commission as an Air Force officer.
And the Saturn halftime report continues outside Falcon Stadium. Colorado Springs, Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit. Air Force down only 7 guys in a game that could easily be 17-0 Notre Dame, given the total domination on both sides.
Well, Chris, the Notre Dame offensive line took over the game on the first snap, and they knocked the smaller front 7 of the Air Force back and back and back and back and keep going back and back. Well, put it this way, 250 of the 273 yards the Irish got, they got it on the ground. Yo, they're a good offensive line, and they can run with that Grant kid.
And Grant had a great first half. And you know what, Air Force, because of that 3-3-5 scheme, they have 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. So if they don't make a tackle for a loss, there's nobody back there, and Grant has a lot of room to run. On the other side of the football, what's happening with the Air Force option, they cannot get anything going. 57 yards in the first half. Look at the way Notre Dame is stretching the option play. They're too fast on defense. This is not BYU. It's not Utah. And the more they stretch Chance Harridge out, the more the defense has a chance to run him down, and he has nowhere to pitch it on the outside. 14-7 right now. If they get down 21-7, this offense is not capable of coming back. They've got to get control of this football game in a hurry.
Harridge, normally a much more accurate passer, but we're talking clearly when your regular stuff's getting stopped, you get frustrated. He is very keyed up, though. He's got to settle down, give his receivers at least a chance to make a play, huh?
Well, the thing about Air Force, if they could just once or twice force Notre Dame to throw it, they got a chance in the second half.
And you know what? On the other side of the ball, when Air Force can't run the ball, they can't throw. Everything that they do with their offense is based on their ability to run the football. I think they might try to get some counter, something to slow down the aggressive attitude of this Notre Dame defense.
They've had comebacks against Cal and Utah, but they're not playing the Bears and the Utes tonight. Notre Dame in control, but only up 14-7 at halftime.
All right, Chris, guys, thank you very much. Thursday night, we've got the unbeaten Wolfpack of NC State. They survived against Duke this afternoon. They'll take on Clemson in Death Valley Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern. We're back after this.
Jack Daniel's Original Hard Cola, a premium malt beverage as unique as the people who drink it. Come as you are.
Yeah, hi. I'm having a problem with my PC.
No, it's not us. Call the maker.
Wait. What? Hello? Yeah, my PC isn't, yeah. I tell them no calls. Wait.
Not us.
But, wait, I have a... Wait. Boiler room. Boiler room?
Tired of getting the runaround? Then come to your local Gateway store, where our friendly staff is ready to help you. We offer in-store training and service, plus all the cool stuff you need to make sure you get the most from your PC. Gateway, a better way.
For 13 years, Frank Collins fought illness and death around the globe as chief of vector genetics at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. His research on mosquito-borne sickness like malaria and yellow fever has been published in leading journals. He has earned election as a fellow in the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Yet, something was missing from all this success: the chance to inspire it in others. World-class scholars in the classroom.
Toyota Edition, premier event.
Annie, how old's your Toyota?
8 years.
You should get a new one.
On what you pay me? Huh, I don't think so.
I'm hurt.
Toyota's 03 Premier is here with 2.9 financing on all new Camrys or 1.9 financing on new Solaris. Now that's affordable.
Annie, that's a bargain.
Great. So instead of that bonus you're always promising, get me a new one.
And give up your old one? It's a classic. I heard that.
Get the Toyota's 03 Premier for great savings at your Toyota dealer now.
Back on the Saturn halftime report in the Pac-10. Bit of a desperation game for Washington and USC, and Carson Palmer delivered big time, finding Mike Williams. 4 touchdown passes for Palmer, 3 touchdown catches for Williams. 41-21 the final. In the SEC, Dominic Davis going in for LSU. They were down 14-6 at the half. They won it easily, 38-14. The Bayou Bengals are for real.
Marcus Randall had a nice game. I mean, I liked how he came in, filled in for Matt Mock, 11-19, 178. Nice game for him.
Georgia rolled over Vanderbilt, got that offense clicking. David Green, 20-23 for 319. Don't forget, we've got a doubleheader of Beg, Borrow, and Deal coming up Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Team Kobe, they're going to challenge Fred Brathwaite in Hockeytown. Would you like to take a shot at Fred Brathwaite?
I would.
You think you could beat him?
Shot.
Could you beat him stick side?
Absolutely.
I thought you probably could. You can check out Beg, Borrow, and Deal, ESPN's new hit reality series. Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock on the coast.
This halftime report presented by Saturn and its redesigned L Series, the Saturn View, and coming this fall, the new Ion.
The Saturn View comes standard with 4-wheel independent suspension. Split folding rear seats for more cargo space.
Let's go. We're losing light.
And electric power steering. The Saturn View. Get in, get away. Get a 2003 Saturn View at 0% APR, 0 down payment, and 0 monthly payments for 90 days. See retailer for restrictions.
Hello? Joey! Golf. 11 o'clock. Rolling Greens. Be there.
No problem. With the Craftsman 4-in-1 Yard Vac, cleaning up your lawn has never been so quick or so easy. Sold exclusively at Sears, it's a vacuum, a shredder, a chipper, and a blower. No Craftsman Yard Vac is more versatile. Just watch it blow leaves from here to there, then suck them up, along with grass clippings, pine needles, and acorns. Watch it turn branches into sawdust, and all debris into a mulch so fine, 1 bag replaces 8. Right now, get the lowest price of the season, $395.99. Your lawn will be gorgeous, and you'll have more time to do whatever you do.
Where's your yard vac now?
The Craftsman 4-in-1 Yard Vac. It's a vacuum, a shredder, a chipper, a blower. And you'll only find it at Sears.
Dame leads by only 7, but on the other hand, they have outgained Air Force 273 to 74. So you can take whichever picture you like out of that first half. And just about ready for the start of the second half. First, Michelle had a brief word with Fisher DeBarrett.
Coach, your offense has yet to get on track, just 57 yards rushing. Where can the adjustments come in your offense?
Well, we've got to be more productive on first down. We're not doing a very good job on first down, and we find ourselves in long yardage in third down, and we got to sustain a drive. There's no question about it. We got to be better on third down on defense, and we're letting our defense stay on the field too long, and our offense hadn't been out there long enough this half.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Dave?
All right, Michelle, and you know what Fisher DeBarrett no doubt was referring to is the fact that where they normally are used to getting 4, 5, 6 yards on first down, they're losing 2, losing 3, getting stuff for no gain. And so what they have been so good at avoiding all year, third and long, has become the norm for them tonight. And something they will absolutely have to address here in the second half. Michael Greenaway gets it started. Montez Duff has it knocked away on the return and recovered at the 16 by Air Force. Their third recovery of the night. Felix Cole comes up with the loose ball.
All it takes in this game is a big, big play. Air Force does a fantastic job in the third quarter, as we'll get into. The hit and the strip.
They're in prime location to do what they have done in 5 of their first 6 games. They've come out the third quarter and gone on a touchdown drive. Let's see if they can make it 6 for 7.
Kenny Smith ripped it free. And Harridge, the option pitch, Palmer has to step around Jerome Sapp to get a couple. What an electrifying start to the second half for Air Force. And again, the third quarter is where they have been at their most dominant, and they've had all the success they've had, what little they've had, only because of Notre Dame turnovers.
Yes, and they've been absolutely frustrated by Notre Dame's defense. Notre Dame's offensive line has controlled its side of the ball as well.
Up to the 13 for second down and 7. And again, option right for Harridge. He'll keep this time. And maybe one, if that, as Shane Walton leads the white jerseys up. So they'll have another third and long coming, Mike.
That's the key right there, third and long. And you heard Michelle talk to Fisher DeBarrett about that. 5 times in the first half they were at third and long. Fisher told us yesterday, if we're in third and long, which is 7 or more, 7 times or more in this game, there's a good chance we'll lose this, because that is not the position we need to be in. And here's another 3rd and 7, or it's 3rd and 6 right now. But they have been in the third and longs too many times tonight.
And what did Tyrone Willingham say about the quarterback just before the half began?
Say they were just
control the quarterback, and they just did it again. Yep. Just did it again.
Taking away his lane and letting the other men do their job going to the pitch.
Harridge to throw. And a sliding catch at the 4.
When this little guy needs to throw the football, he can do it.
Leotis Palmer does a great job, Bill, getting his hands under this ball.
He does.
Low.
This is not a great throw, but he does get it past the defender and just high enough that Palmer comes up with a big league play. Another former high school quarterback out of South Georgia, in this case Darien, Georgia, Leotis Palmer, a big play man in this offensive unit.
Just the 3rd completion of the night for Harridge. 3 out of 9, 1st and goal from the 3. And he collides with his fullback, still manages to get down near the 1.
And how successful has Air Force been when they've been in the red zone? 38 times they've been there. They scored 35 times. 28 have been touchdowns. That's an incredible percentage to getting into the end zone.
And Ross Harridge, retired school teacher, as is mom Linda. Watching quite intently. 2nd and goal. And the give for Steve Massey. No signal. Not quite in, I don't think. But not much more than a foot away.
I'll tell you who's a threat down here in this part of the field is that number 50, Cedric Hilliard for Notre Dame. It's awfully hard to move him and his buddy Darrell Campbell, the two defensive tackles, but that's exactly where Air Force is attacking with the fullback. They count on the fullback to gain about 100 yards a game.
It's a chance to keep this one.
He keeps it straight ahead. Touchdown. They're ready anytime. Chance Harridge gets to the end zone because it happens so often. His 16th touchdown run of the year.
But sometimes when it's not going offensively, like it has not been for Air Force tonight, you take advantage of those opportunities when you get them. They've done a great job of creating turnovers, and they're taking advantage of it, and they are obviously right in this ball game. The stats would not show it, but the scoreboard is the only thing that counts.
To tie it, Joey Ashcroft, 14-14. We have a marker down there.
Markers. There's been a lot of talking down there. Here's the great surge by the guys up front. Especially good job by Brett Heiser there, number 63, getting movement on those very defensive tackles I've been praising. We've got a flag down. Some jawing back and forth between the two teams down there after the extra point.
Big Ten crew, referee Dennis Lipsky.
The try is good. Dead ball, personal foul on the offense. That penalty will be administered on the kickoff.
Now what that means, that's an unbelievable foul. That means you're going to kick off from the 20-yard line, and that means you're going to give up field position automatically, maybe a big return, especially with Vontez Duff being upset with having dropped the ball previously. And whoever did the talking, Coach DeBerry will locate.
And it wasn't talking. I saw the ref go up to the Fisher DeBerry and say somebody hit somebody up in the face, which is just a dumb mistake right there.
Chance Harridge, as he headed to the locker room at halftime, jawing literally nose to nose with Shane Walton. We can only imagine what was said, but if Harridge said, "We'll be back," he was right.
Lee Corso, future sportscaster star.
Kirk, you can take the helmet off.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I'll get it. Mind if I stand? Yo. Testing. 1, 2, 3. You guys getting this, or what?
Send in your 1-minute audition tape to the Discover Card Gets You on Game Day Challenge. If you win, you'll appear on College Game Day and go to the BCS National Championship. Visit your local Best Buy for details. And when you're at Best Buy, use your Discover Card. You'll earn a cashback bonus award and automatically be entered for a chance to win college football and home entertainment prizes. Just another way it pays to discover.
Since The Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby has a movie been so truly frightening. The Ring, rated PG-13, now playing.
$370 Fortune 500 companies outsource with Kinko's every day.
This fall, everything's turning red with Honda's fall values. Check out this deal on some of our ATVs and dirt bikes. 0 down payment and 0 payments for 3 months. And a 7.9% APR for up to 5 years. Just one of the many great deals at your local Honda dealer.
But wait, that's not all. Now you can get any new Honda for just $29 a month. $29. You'll find this and other great deals at your local Honda dealer. But these offers end soon, so hurry in and get red.
Notre Dame coming in had 19 takeaways leading to 78 points. Tonight they have 3 turnovers, and they've led to all 14 points for the Falcons. As the Falcon looks on at a 14-14 game now. Michael Greenaway had a kick after that personal foul from his own 20. And Duff starts at his 11. Fumbled the last kick. This time they'll start one of the few times tonight with good field position out of the 42. So it is a costly penalty. ESPN Game Track. Numbers at the half. For Notre Dame on the ground, unstoppable. 250, and for Grant, 129. Air Force averaging 339. They had 57 at the half. And they had been stymied every which way. Up the middle, either side on the option. But Fisher DeBerry again has seen his team cash in a Notre Dame mistake. Now back to Grant. And Grant run down from behind by Joel Belo.
One of the very things that offensive coordinator Bill Dietrich told us is they have to block those Falcons coming off the corner, and that's what happened that play. They did not get that done. Number 21, Joel Belo, came off the backside, the open side, and ran the play down from behind.
They're too fast.
Not play side, but backside. You got to have somebody to get a piece of him. Just too quick.
Second down and 8. Raymond McKnight, freshman wideout going in motion. Give again to Grant. Terrific, especially off left tackle. And another first down of the Air Force 45. Paul Mayo finally corrals in there. Another gain of 11. This is the best night of his season now, up to 142 yards, 10 more than he had against Michigan.
And this has been Air Force's quarter. Let's see what they can do. They've outscored their opponents 58-6 in the third quarter, so the defense obviously has come out and played just as strong as the offense has for Air Force. Right now, Notre Dame has a bit of a drive going, but this has been the Falcons' quarter throughout the year.
Season and career high for Ryan Grant. Holiday. Really is effective throwing as scrambling tonight. And he'll scramble again. Run down from behind this time by Trevor Hightower. Junior from Plano, Texas. Just inside the 40.
Bill, I know you don't like your quarterback doing that an awful lot, but they're not coming up when he's starting to run. Certainly when they do that, he can dump it over the top. It's up to the linebackers like Hightower and Schlegel to stop Holiday when he's running. And right now they haven't been able to do that.
Well, not until he's made substantial gains, and in one case a touchdown. Now he's coming up with 2nd and 4, and that's very much to Notre Dame's advantage. Looking for a little defense.
Totally reverse what Notre Dame is doing to Air Force has been doing to everybody. Marcus Wilson will be close for the first down. Don't forget our matchup on College Football Thursday, presented by Circuit City. Your chance to see the nation's leading passer, Phillip Rivers, and 10th-ranked NC State, which just did get past Duke by 2 today. They'll take on Willie Simmons and the Clemson Tigers in Death Valley, 7:30 Eastern, this coming Thursday.
Also got a pretty good freshman running back there in T.A. McClendon for State. Help out Rivers with the passing. Good running tap.
Third, a little less than 1. Not good during the year. Outstanding so far tonight. Lipinski, the fullback. First down.
We just talked about what was happening on the edge. Bill Dietrich's plan included bringing receivers in motion, moving them around. In this case, Omar Jenkins. Look at number 80 as he turns back. And his job will be to seal this corner right here and keep this man from making the play. And that's exactly what he does. That's his job. That's the guy that's been coming off the edge and plaguing the running game of Notre Dame when he's been able to get there.
3 yards. They depart from the eye for one of the few times. And Holiday has just his 3rd completion of the night. Back to run a move to get away from Mayo and driven out at the 17. 17 yards for Arnez Battle.
Again, Air Force is a zone team. They're going to give you some room. Here comes the blitz. We're going to see the blitz here. We're going to see this receiver run off, him back up, and Battle just curl right in here. And it's going to be right there for him. A lot of room they give. The blitz is picked up. There's the hole. Battle just settles in, and you'll take Battle in a one-on-one with a lot of defensive backs in the country.
He has become a big play man with the football in his hands. We said that at the top of the game. He's got to continue to make plays like that.
Carlyle this year had 5 catches. Last week against Pitt, career game 10 for 101 yards. First carry Chris Yura gets. He keeps charging forward and gets down near the 10. A senior from Morgantown, West Virginia, gets his first carry of the year. In the first half, Mike McNair, another senior, got his first carry. Backups to Lipinski at fullback.
Sean Mahan knocking some heads here, knocking some headgears off.
Oh, Rudzinski's head. Oh,
yep.
Wow.
You don't like to see that.
No.
That chin strap on John Rudzinski.
Yet another second and short. And back to the tailback, Grant. To the corner, inside the 5, and from there it'll be first and goal, Notre Dame.
John Rudzinski is the son of a gentleman by the name of Paul Rudzinski, and I had the privilege of being a coach on the Green Bay Packers staff when his father played there. He had an uncle, Joe.
Oh, I played
with you, right?
Played with at Notre Dame, right? Exactly right. Tough linebacker was Joe.
Yep, Paul was a terrific player. He's so proud of John, and, well, he should be.
Linebacker, a little bit of a theme there in the Rudzinski family.
Well, he's a very bright, he's a brilliant student. Not surprisingly, here at this school. Heck of a linebacker.
Notre Dame first and goal just inside the 5 with 2 tight ends. Grant, it's about half of it before he stood up and knocked back by Hightower.
Well, this works twofold. They're controlling the ball, moving down the field, in position to score, and also keeping, again, the Air Force offense has not been very potent tonight, but they can strike at any time, and if they're on the sidelines, that's a plus for Notre Dame.
Well, what Notre Dame has done is to take Air Force's game plan and to turn it on them.
Right.
Possessing the football, keeping their defense off, and keeping their defense rested, frustrating both sides of the ball for Air Force.
Larry Stovall into the game, true freshman, the only wideout. Billy Palmer tight end motion. Second and goal. And Grant keeps going right down to the goal line, but not quite over.
I'll tell you, we need to talk about Ryan Grant too. He has run with excellent body lean. He has run through tackles, run over some people. I was impressed with a remark he made before the season. He said, I feel like this thing of Coach Willingham being hired is a historic event. I can tell my grandchildren I participated in a situation where an African-American who deserved a shot got his shot, and I want to help him be successful. Well, that's certainly the way he's playing tonight.
Career night for Ryan Grant, sophomore, Nyack, New York. Third and a goal to go from a foot away, and Holiday will put his helmet down, charge forward, and no signal yet.
I think when they dig him out.
Touchdown.
I have never understood the officials waiting on a call like that. If you're the side guy and that ball breaks the plane, it's a touchdown. Now, you go in and call it after he crawls forward. I would crawl forward.
Yeah, I'd keep moving.
You don't
exactly
call
right.
it after he lays on the ground for a while. You call the thing when you see him break the plane.
Excellent drive by Notre Dame.
But, yeah, and all in all, a very well officiated game. Trust me, we'll tell you if it isn't.
Second touchdown run of the night for Carlyle, Holiday, and Seta again puts the Irish up by 7. Holiday's done almost nothing through the air, but a lot on the ground. But the Falcons have another scoring chance coming up. Back down again by a touchdown.
Taco Bell's grilled steak taco tastes so authentic, you may exhibit carne asada bravado.
Carne asada steak tacos, ladies?
Yeah.
It's an old family recipe.
Really? Yeah.
I did. I made it myself.
I thought he was Irish.
Shh. He's on a roll.
The grilled steak taco. Tender slices of steak marinated in Mexican spices and grilled to perfection for a taste that's irresistible. For authentic carne asada steak, think outside the bun.
over 60 years, Owens Corning has been advancing the science of insulation, roofing, siding, sound control, and more. And everything we've learned, we've put into one very special place, your home. Owens Corning, innovations for living.
You're not ordinary. You're not average. You're something special.
Air Force briefly tied at Notre Dame, right back to what worked so well for them in the first half.
And let me remind everybody that field position, the dumb penalty after the extra point, gave Notre Dame their first good field position of the night, and they capitalized.
Although, you know what? If they'd started at their own one, I don't think it would have just made it drag out a little bit longer. Their last 3 possessions, 33 plays at total 207 yards. But they've had a couple of turnovers. Turn into Air Force touchdown. No chance for the return for Brian Blue. Down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, I am told that at halftime, the Air Force locker room was really relatively calm. Fisher DeBerry telling his team, hey, if you just keep doing what you've been doing, minus the mistakes, we're very much in this ball game. And sure enough, as you said, they came right out of the locker room and scored to tie it up. But I think this next drive, Dave, is really going to be the telling factor of whether or not they're still really in this ball game. Can they put points on the board as Notre Dame just did?
Well, you almost have to say, can they get a drive? They've had so many 3-and-outs. They recovered that last fumble on the kick at the 16. Harridge out on the corner and keeping this time for 6. And that's about as long a keeper as he's had all night. Run down by Kyle Budden's.
That's amazing. This kid's about a 270, 280 pounder, and he ran down Chance Harris.
Hey, I'm telling you, he ran him down. Chance Harris beat him back to the inside. He plants his foot. Look at it.
Look at
regains his balance, grabs him by the shirt, and gets him on the ground. That's a terrific play by a great big defensive end. Notre Dame came in this game prepared, knowing exactly what they got to do.
11th carry, 28 yards for Harridge. Averaging 102. Option toss, and Joe Schieffer tripped up, but not before he has an Air Force first down. And those have been precious items tonight, few and far between.
But you will not see a change. You will see this offense run, unless they obviously have to throw it at the end of the game. You will just see different variations, the load option, the triple option, all the different things. They will not leave this offense, and they're just looking for that one crack, that one chance when they bust one off.
Well, they almost got it right there.
You're absolutely right.
They almost got the sideline because the pitch man did not get to his assignment. That's how they made the first.
7th first down of the night for the Falcons. Harridge ready to go deep into coverage, though it's stolen from midair by Shane Walton, his 6th interception of the season. Those were the two who had the conversation going into the locker room at the half. Advantage Walton.
And Brandon Hoyt gets a hit on Chance Harris. He'll blitz, he'll come up the gut. And right as he's following through, he takes a shot. Ball hangs, there's Walton. It's certainly something he's done this year a few times, huh?
You're almost surprised when the game ends and he doesn't have a pick. Had 3 of them against Maryland to start the season on this tone. Marcus Wilson and the tackle made by Charles Bucher. So the first turnover by Air Force, which is lived by the 3 Irish turnovers.
But you know what? They got a little bit of movement that time. They got the first down, then they get the turnover. Michelle talked about how important that drive was, and I think it was a decent one for them. They did get a little bit on the option, then they get the turnover. Now you want to talk about another drive important. This Air Force defense has got to come up here and make a stop.
78 points. You average that out, it's 13 points per game for an offense averaging just under 23 points per game, including what the defense has helped them get. Marcus Wilson. And they'll have a 3rd and a long 3. So this is what the Notre Dame offense is used to. Lots of opportunities by their defense.
And what's happening here is that people like Omar Jenkins, number 80, right there at the top of your screen, is getting accustomed to blocking off the corner. It's not something that he does every week. He does a nice job there on Joel Bilo and springs his back for another good game. They're getting better as the game progresses.
Falcon defense needing to dig in here on 3rd and 4. And Holiday, plenty of time, a strike to battle at the 40. Defender saying he trapped it. And one official finally coming way from the secondary and agrees, incomplete.
Side judge was there. They're calling him in now. Side judge was coming in marking that it was a catch. In the back, they were saying no. He came in and I could read his lips. He said the ball hit the ground.
Once again, the Air Force defense was stymied as it's blitzing in its attempt to get to the quarterback. Marvelous protection. The blitz pickup is just right. We can check the throw and catch here.
Oh, yeah,
no catch.
absolutely. Great call.
Surprised Arnaz would argue this.
Well, you got to.
I'm surprised he didn't knock the wind out of him because he landed on the football. That hurts, man.
Hurts worse, though, not to get the catch, I would think. And for one of the few times, Notre Dame will have to kick it away. Joey Hillbold, to enjoy the altitude, gets a sideways hop and out of bounds at the 15-yard line, a 42-yarder. This tale of 2 seasons. A drama in 3 acts in Act 2 coming up.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Barry makes a big splash in his World Series debut. Can the Irish ground the Air Force Academy? And Saturday's top 10 plays. They're really good. SportsCenter, 10 Pacific, ESPN.
On an all-new Beg, Borrow, and Deal.
Yeah!
Team Kobe looks to the west.
Let's go. We have to leave right now.
While Team Contact heads south.
We're gonna get the hell out of Memphis.
We should try and get another ride. All right, here I go.
Beg, Borrow, and Deal. The begging continues. Tuesday at 8 on ESPN.
The time is now to beat a path to O'Connor Chevrolet. Get the best price and the best selection on the best cars. We've got what you want right here, right now. The deals have never been better. Don't miss our fall inventory reduction events with great prices on everything from Malibus and Blazers to the amazing Avalanche. Come in today for your chance to save big. Like what you see? Visit O'Connor Chevrolet at 127th and Kedzie in Alsip. We're easy to find off I-57, 294, or 94. See for yourself why people keep coming back to us. And remember, if anyone can, O'Connor can.
Are you tired of being in debt? Hi, my name is Michael Mack and I'm an attorney. I've got good news for you. In only 4 minutes from now, you can change your life simply by calling the free 24-hour recorded message. Discover how to file bankruptcy with no money down and easy, flexible payment plans. Discover also how to get free credit restoration after bankruptcy. Don't just get out of debt. Get a real fresh start.
800-414-0005.
Now, Act 2, Scene 1. On the 14th of September, we've got Michigan Notre Dame. Shane Walter tipping John Navarre's 2-point pass with 2:53 to go. 2-point win for the Irish. Meanwhile, a week later, Air Force Cal. Jeff Overstreet tipping away Kyle Bowler's 2-point conversion attempt. 31 seconds left, and Air Force won by 2. More coming. Air Force forcing the punt. It was a good one by Hillbold, pinning it at their 15. They trail by 7. Harridge with the pitch, and some room out there for Darnell Stevens. Driven out emphatically by Jerome Sapp, but he gets 15 yards, and that's about as good a run as they've had all night.
The third option in the triple option, obviously, is the pitch to the tailback. When there is a mistake made, and you'll see that the inverted action of number 26, Don Clark there, he comes out, gets a heck of a shot on Vontez Duff. So Duff can't fulfill his responsibility, which is the pitch back. Now they're off and running to a first down and maybe more.
First man through gets it this time.
The next thing you know, Mike, all of a sudden the fullback is making 5 or 6
exactly
shots.
right, and they changed it up a little bit on that last play as well. Alec Messero came and blocked down on the man who was going to take the pitch man to open up the corner. They have so many variations of this triple option. That's why you've got to play disciplined football for 4 quarters against these guys, because they will hit a big one on you.
Massey gets 5 on just his 4th carry. They've held him to 11 yards. Harridge coming the other way this time. And where he likes to turn it back up and usually has some room. This time, Brandon Hoyt was there waiting for him. Tomorrow night at 9, catch 2 episodes of Beg, Borrow, and Deal.
If you missed the show that everyone's talking about, here's your chance to see back-to-back episodes of Beg, Borrow, and Deal. Sunday starting at 9, a special encore presentation on ESPN.
It's a lot of fun trying to watch regular people beg professional athletes to let them.
Are those regular people?
Regular people begging professional athletes to shoot against them. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, everything.
Palmer 3rd and 5. Got away from Derek Curry, and he managed to get close to the first down. Looked like Curry had him for a loss. Vontez Duff finally makes his way over to the corner along with Sapp.
Air Force
a little
is
short, though.
Just beginning to make some yards, but the story of this game to this point is the coaching job done by the Notre Dame staff, offense and defense. Yeah, he outran Derek Curry, but he didn't outrun the force man, and they're 4th and short at their own 40. They need to punt this football.
Absolutely right.
Okay, there's defensive coordinator Kent Baer, and that signal means play safe punt. Notre Dame's going to line up and play defense here, expecting a fake.
They're not going to try and rush anybody. They're just going to stop the man in front of them and watch for a fake.
Robert Barkers. Not much to look at here. Low, end over end, not much of a hop either. Boy, you expect better than that out of him. 37 yards, all he gets. Ty Willingham and the Irish leading 21-14 late in the 3rd.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-554-9000.
This Craftmatic Model 2 electrically adjustable bed costs no more than many quality flatbeds. And when you buy selected ones with optional heat and built-in massage, you get this fabulous bonus. A 25-inch color TV absolutely free. In a Craftmatic bed, you adjust yourself into comfortable positions automatically. Call toll-free so we can mail you our adjustable bed catalog and a certificate for a free 25-inch color TV with bed purchase.
Call toll-free 1-800-544-1000.
This is the Bowflex Power Pro. Quite possibly the most effective home fitness machine ever made. Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. You can own a Bowflex with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Call and ask for a free video and brochure, or visit us on the web today. Redefine your body with Bowflex.
Ty Willingham leading 21-14, and when he talks about his philosophy of life, it's a good idea to listen.
I grew up in a community that believed in the greater good. So therefore, it was not just about the individual, but that individual had a responsibility to his community, to society, to be a winner, to be successful, to help someone else. So it is in this role that I have as a coach of Notre Dame that I also believe I have a responsibility to the university, to my ethnic background, and to our players, to be a winner, to give them the right example that makes them winners, hopefully, for the rest of their lives.
Well, it's working, and hopefully, week by week, more and more are taking note. As the Air Force defense holding Grant to a short game, Below up from left Falcon.
He's one of the classiest guys, and I first went against him when I was with the Eagles. He was coaching with Denny Green with the Minnesota Vikings, and the thing players talk to about Ty is the respect that they had for him and buying into what he was coaching and teaching on the football field, and that is certainly carrying over into his college coaching career.
Gain of 2. Holiday with plenty of protection again in the throw. This time Battle making the move after the catch, and has a first down. Down across the 35, down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, also this week when people suggested to Ty Willingham that his talent is better than that of Air Force, he would just shrug it off. He told us, you know, there are a lot of talented teams that don't play well. He said when he was a freshman at Michigan State in 1972, they had 10 to 12 players drafted off of that team. And that team went 6-5. He said we should have been better than that. It's not about talent. It's how you come together and play as a team.
Well, tonight, it's also about talent. Grant straight ahead for two, because there's no getting around this. Notre Dame has 15 parade and or USA Today first team high school All-Americas. You can say what you want about, what really goes into those selections, but Air Force has never had one. And when people looked at this matchup, they said, you know, Notre Dame, man for man, every single matchup should favor them, and it has tonight.
Statistically, it has, and you look at that scoreboard, and Air Force is still one play away from tying it up, but they have been dominated on the stats.
Out of the gun this time. All 5 of his completions have been to Arnez Battle. Look at him move in the open field. And Bill, you call this one. You did not think, after watching Arnez Battle's season, that Air Force had anybody that could match up with him.
That's exactly right. When we talk about players with star potential, Arnez Battle has always been the potential guy, picking up his blockers here on the jailbreak screen, so-called because the linemen come out. It looks like a bunch of big, heavy guys coming out like they've popped out of some imprisonment, and they block. And a shifty guy like Arnez is finally maximizing his potential after overcoming some serious injuries and a position change. It's good to see if you're a Notre Dame person, sir.
He's a starting quarterback a couple of years ago.
That's right. And as for Tyrone Willingham, when I asked him about responsibility, he said we all have a responsibility to the young people of America. And he's exactly right.
1 quarter to go. Notre Dame dominating everywhere but the scoreboard, where their lead is still just 7.
Around the Horn, weekdays at 5 on ESPN.
Agent Alex Scott will be given his most dangerous assignment yet.
You're working with a civilian.
Sexual healing, baby. Ooh, boy. Columbia Pictures presents Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're going to be definitely charming. I'm going to tell you how you're going to do it.
Owen Wilson.
I need sexual healing.
I Spy.
We did our best. There's no shame in that. Kelly Robinson's rap works. Get back in there.
Rated PG-13. In theaters everywhere November 1st.
Great moments are registered every day in Florida. See for yourself. And now, with all the discounts available on lodging, attractions, and fun, there's never been a better time to make some moments of your own. Great moments, great vacations, great values. Call today for your free Florida vacation guide. FLA USA.
What do you need for an Orlando vacation?
I would take 10 pizzas, 100-foot beach ball, and my silly little brother.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah! Orlando Magic Card. Mommy got this for free. She says I can save a lot of money, up to $500 on stuff to do. $500? That's a lot, like a zillion.
Call now for your free Orlando vacation kit and money-saving Orlando Magic Card.
Every day, AmeriDebt helps more people with money problems. People like Tom Baker.
My credit card debt was outrageous. Then I called AmeriDebt. They contacted my creditors and got my payments almost cut in half. Now I have only one small monthly bill.
AmeriDebt is a nonprofit organization that offers free consultations to consumers seeking to eliminate their debt. People like the Shaws.
Every month I pay our credit card bills, but the balances never seem to get smaller.
AmeriDebt got our interest rates reduced, and now the balances are dropping dramatically.
And what's even more amazing is our payments are less than before.
Just call this number, and regardless of your credit, in minutes you can join the thousands of people who have turned their financial lives around. People like Maria Rinaldi.
Before I called AmeriDebt, the creditors were calling every day. I thought bankruptcy was the only way out. Now I'm debt-free, and my credit rating has been restored.
Call 1-800-554-9000. AmeriDebt, helping America get out of debt.
So we begin the fourth quarter. Notre Dame 21-14. Dave Barnett, Mike Golick, Bill Curry, and Michelle Tafoya. and 4,000 cadets.
Yeah, the Notre Dame guard has been suspended, but the cadets guard, I think, is alive and well.
Temperature dipping to the 30s, wind chill into the 20s. First and 10 hours, 46 of the Falcons, and Holiday look deep and then pulls up and fires another one to Battle. He has all 6 completions to the 26, a 20-yard hookup.
Now I got the game plan. Carlyle, run around until you see Arnaz and then throw it to him. Okay, you got that? It's working.
Just 2 guys out in the street.
And this time you saw Holiday start to take off. And this time the defense started coming toward him because he's been running. And there was Battle then wide open. It's kind of hanging out, hanging out. Here I am.
Then the fun starts. So 6 catches, 85 yards now for Arnaz Battle. Holiday slips as he turns to go on a naked bootleg. And that's going to lose 6.
The whole Air Force defense just kept going. They thought he handed the ball off. Look at the blue shirts. They're gone. No idea Holiday had the ball or fell down.
Boy, Ty knew he had something too. All he had to do was keep his feet.
Well, shall I do my lecture about keeping the weight over the balls of your feet to keep your cleats in the ground? That's what you got to do, Mr. Holiday.
Here comes a blitz. It is picked up. Holiday rolling. And has to throw it away. Here comes a flag. Chris Ura blocking for Holiday. They may have holding.
I think he's on Trevor Hightower, number 44. Chris Ura looked like he did a hog-tie job there. Got Hightower on the ground, and it was called.
Air Force got to back him up.
This is one of those Susan B. Anthony blocks here. Looks like a quarter.
Right here,
it's worth $1. It's very effective. It's just that it's illegal, Chris. They will not let you do that.
Just act like you were tripping and fall on him instead of reaching that arm around.
But at least he landed on it.
Oh, here we go.
See, Coach Golick here really likes blocks and tackles where folks get landed upon. So we have to grade those things in each game that we do.
Well, Notre Dame was down around the 25, and the way this thing has gone, another touchdown, it's really hard to see Air Force coming back. Now they're going backwards. They have the 6-yard loss for Holiday, now tack on the penalty, and they'll snap this one, 2nd down and 26 from the 42.
Not many good play calls for 2nd and 26.
Maybe a screen, draw one of the bubble screens out wide.
And the watch right there, Battle. Bottom of your picture. They have a little comeback pattern for him over the middle. And Battle is right down close to the 1st down. Took him all of one play to get 25 of the 26.
Coach Golick, what a play call.
That bubble screen, but they did it out of motion, bringing Battle across. And then doing it to the short side of the field. He goes in motion and comes back. You send the lineman out. See, here come the lineman out to block. And he'll just come right back underneath and take it up. Does a great job of going north and south after he catches the ball. Turns it up. Excellent execution.
2nd and 26 turns into 3rd and 1. 2 tight ends in the eye. And Grant is hit for a loss. Schlegel makes the defensive stop of the night for Air Force.
The backside guard, Sean Milligan, the right guard for Notre Dame, had responsibility for Schlegel, who's going to run through the A-gap. Here he comes right off the center. See him coming right off the center's outside shoulder. Actually, Grant falls down before Schlegel gets there, but Schlegel was there to make the play.
Set a miss wide right from 41 yards in the 1st half. He was a 36-yarder. And again, he's wide right. Now, was the trouble Notre Dame ran into after they got down near the 25 the first time. They still lead by 1 touchdown, 1 play away, Air Force, even though they have been run up and down the field against all night. Seta has not been able to help the Irish cause.
Well, people think Starbucks is an overnight success. I can tell you firsthand, quite the contrary.
The opening of the first Costco was a significant moment. You're on pins and needles. You're worrying about whether or not anyone's going to show up for the opening. Nothing was quite as significant as that first one.
When we opened the first store, nobody came. But as that word of mouth spread, the volume began growing by 20 and 30%. By September of that first year, we knew we had a winner in our hands.
I think in order to run a company, you have to have the ability to inspire others.
Leadership is all about people.
In order to be successful and in order to engender enthusiasm,
you have to have the vision and the courage.
You have to have passion.
People have got to want to follow you. Success is not an entitlement. It has to be earned.
Staples.
Starbucks.
Costco. Listed on NASDAQ. NASDAQ 100 companies.
Very funny. What?
For that long road to maturity, we'll be there.
Still a 7-point game. 1996. Last time the Air Force knocked off the Irish, it was 20-17 in overtime. And Lou Holtz had to congratulate Fisher DeBerry. 2 years ago, the last meeting came down to a blocked field goal, and the Irish celebrated that 3-point overtime win. And this one's starting to get that same kind of feel. Although Air Force's longest drive tonight has gone all of 27 yards. Harridge fighting hard to get 2.5.
Guys, I've been there, though. It does not matter. Again, I lost 3 times to Air Force in my 4 years, and in 2 of those, they were close games. And coming to the end of the game, it just takes 1 or 2 runs by this offense, 1 or 2 letdowns by the defense, and all of a sudden, this game is tied up again.
With key penalties, Notre Dame has let Air Force hang around in this game.
Penalties and 3 turnovers, 2 of which immediately turned into points. Low pass. And will they give the catch to Omeziga? No. I don't think. No, they are.
No, they are.
They sure are. They'll say he got it at the 27.
Well, let's see. The officials got the one with Battle right.
Well, I'll tell you, Chance has got his low ball going tonight. He needs to get it up. That's no catch. That ball's on the ground. That ball was on the ground. That's no catch. No catch.
I think his fingers were under it.
Tyrone knows it.
Mike and I against Bill. 3rd and 3. Harridge pitch. Palmer. 1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys followed him to the sideline, and he loses 3.
And Mike, back to our theme, I saw 1 white jersey on the ground, 10 running to the football, playing their responsibility, then turning and accelerating, and they had not 1 but 2 tacklers on the pitch back.
Let's see how many players end up on the ground here. Look at everybody running the ball. Everybody on their feet. The 4 guys coming all on their feet. Nobody getting their legs taken out. Easy play for them.
Another Falcon. 3 and out. Parker's kick. Good chance to return to Duff. And up to the 42-yard line. 43 on that kick. ESPN Game Track. As we now move into the fourth quarter and Chance Harridge's frustration grows. A lot of Arnaz battle. And for Air Force, all they've managed in terms of scores have come off turnovers. That was the first, a 19-yard fumble return by Marcello Grady to give them the early 7-0 lead. And whatever Chuck Peterson he hasn't already told Chance Harridge, we'd love to know what it is. Marcus Wilson carrying. And Bill, you've got a team used to 339 rushing yards a game. They're right at 100. At this point, it's not strategy, right? It's got to, at some point, come down to can you execute against the bigger guy across the line?
Well, can you get the guy on the ground and do your job? They're not blocking the Notre Dame defenders. The defenders are well deployed. They have an excellent plan. It's a simple plan. And Kent Baer told us you can't do many things against these guys because they have so many formations. But they are totally frustrating the Air Force offense. And the defense is going to have to knock one loose or pick one off or something.
They forced a rare punt last time. And they'll have a 3rd and 2 coming from midfield. College Football Thursday presented by Circuit City and from the ACC. Phillip Rivers, nation's top-rated quarterback coming into this week, helping NC State survive Duke today, number 10 team in the country, still unbeaten. But they go to Death Valley Thursday night and take on the Clemson Tigers, 7:30 Eastern. For more, as always, you can log on to ESPN.com.
Seems like Rivers been in college for about 5-6 years, doesn't it? We've been talking about him for a while now.
He started as a true freshman.
Yeah, exactly.
Tough to do at QB.
3rd down. Holiday has battled again. I don't know if they'll give him the first down here because he's driven back immediately by Larry Duncan.
He's got it where the referee is marking the ball. He'll have the first down.
What a marvelous idea by Bill Dietrich, offensive coordinator for Notre Dame. All night long, he brings his receivers across to block on the corner, as we've already shown you.
If this one hung any longer in the air, it was
this one. Now here comes Battle. He's going to fake the block, slip out in the flat. It's so well conceived, but read perfectly by Larry Duncan, the free safety.
They're measured here. I do believe is the first down, Bill. It gives us a chance. Let's talk about those trends that we started at the beginning of the game and then talk right before halftime. And now Notre Dame, the West Coast smash mouth offense, where they're really hammering the ball and running the ball. As we see the first down, over 300 yards rushing in for Air Force. For the Notre Dame defense, keep their integrity, stay in their lanes, and make the plays.
Arnaz Battle now, 8 catches, a career high 113 yards, and Michelle has some more on Battle.
Well, Dave, when he was recruited to Notre Dame as a quarterback, he was given that traditional take into the locker room, shown a locker with his name on it, and a number 3 jersey, and he immediately thought of famous number 3s, Joe Montana and Rick Meyer. Little did he know that he'd be playing receiver wearing number 3 and having a Montana-like impact at that position, Dave.
Starting quarterback 2 years ago broke his wrist in week 2. A sack back at the 46-yard line. Trevor Hightower. Battle then went to wideout last year, missed 4 games with a fractured fibula. So he's had a couple of years of frustration. But back-to-back career-high performances last week against Pitt and tonight, as Holiday is flat on his back and Pat Dillingham is getting loose as well as you can, and sub-30 wind chill.
That was a coverage sack there, as we see what's happening with Holiday, and they certainly have had a number of quarterbacks here that have moved on to other positions for both teams.
Gary Godsey's brother, of course, George, who just last year finished a terrific career quarterback in Georgia Tech.
We saw Brian Blue return a kickoff. He's the backup quarterback. He is the 2nd-string quarterback behind Harridge. And then, of course, Palmer was a high school quarterback, now a wishbone halfback here.
Now remember, Holiday injured his left shoulder September 21st at Michigan State, and last week against Pittsburgh was his first start since then.
And this, again, this is a coverage sack, a zone defense by Air Force, hanging out, can't find anybody, looks to run and gets sandwiched.
That could be the knee or either shoulder.
Yeah, they had him wrapped up.
Well, I guarantee you they're hoping it just knocked the wind out of him, that he'll be back momentarily.
So here's Dillingham, sophomore, who hit the game winner, a 60-yard touchdown against Michigan State after Holiday had to leave. And again, Schlegel up quickly to Barry Grant.
Wow, Bill, he's something, isn't he?
He's something, and Richard Bell is so proud of him as defensive coordinator. And Schlegel, as you know, Mike, walked up to you and me before the game down on the field and said, I want to thank you for saying nice things about my coach, Coach Bell. Because I had complimented Coach Bell at practice. This guy's a real football player. We've already told you, the first sophomore in the history of the program to be elected captain of the football team.
Here is a 3rd and long. They need to get to the 38, and they keep it on the ground. Grant reaching the 46.
And considering the way the game has gone, that was a very good call. We talk about not having very good calls on 3rd and long, but you got that cold quarterback in there in Dillingham. You hand it off, hope maybe you can run for a first down. If not, punt the ball and let that outstanding defense go back out and take care of business.
Here's the chess match. Play that field position.
Joey Hillbold, senior out of Centerville, Virginia. One of the best at pinning the opponent inside the 20. Palmer pinned at the 10. Act 3 coming up, this tale of 2 very dramatic seasons. We may have Act 4 when it's all said and done. 6:19 remaining.
Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die.
Okay, let's go.
Until the very end, we'll be there.
Start your Sunday with the NFL Countdown team, now joined by Coach Bill Parcells.
And they're in trouble.
And get weekly insights from John Madden, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
This month, AT&T Broadband delivers the movies you want on in-demand pay-per-view. We Were Soldiers, starring Mel Gibson. Blade 2, Wesley Snipes is badder than ever. The Rookie will have the whole family cheering. Changing Lanes with Ben Affleck and Samuel L. Jackson. All this month on in-demand pay-per-view from AT&T Broadband.
Carrier's Weathermaker Infinity is the world's most totally efficient gas furnace. With our exclusive Comfort Heat technology, it can save you up to 40% on your home heating costs.
Get a special fall furnace rebate from your participating Carrier dealer. To find your local Carrier dealer, visit us on the web at indoorweatherexperts.com or call 1-800-CARRIER. That's 1-800-CARRIER.
Carrier, 100 years of innovation.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Carlyle Holiday out for just one play, but from the looks of things, we'll be ready to come back. Right now, Air Force starting 90 yards away from a tying score. And a good start for Harridge as he gets J.P. Waller for a gain of 13. Remember, Air Force's longest drive tonight, 27 yards.
Well, that's a matchup they would like. Getting a guy like Waller on a linebacker, on Courtney Watson, even though he's small and fast linebacker, you'd still rather have a receiver on a linebacker. You'll take that matchup most any day, especially on a crossing route. If Harridge can hit him in stride.
But you know what? Kent Baer is going to sit right here. Here are the numbers: 5 for 12, 42 yards, 1 interception. he'll let them throw those little crossing routes all night. They're throwing.
Here we go. Flea flicker. Palmer throwing back to Harridge. It hangs up in the air, and it's time enough for Walton to come over and get a hand on it. It had to be excruciating for Harridge to be that open and see the ball float on Leotis Palmer.
This is the throwback. This is an old-fashioned flea flicker, a trick play, and it's wide open, and you just hope and pray that Palmer can make a nice throw and not hang it up forever. Unfortunately, he does hang it up, which allows the alert Shane Walton, the ever-present Shane Walton of talking fame. He and Chance had a little discussion going into the locker room, and Chance is going to see him in his dreams.
5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
And it
To
wouldn't even
add
have mattered.
insult to injury.
Yeah.
You didn't complete the thing, but had you done it for a touchdown, we'd be walking back here because some lineman didn't pay attention to his P's and Q's.
It's one of those plays that to try and pull off that everybody has got to be on the same page.
Almost a touchdown, except for the penalty. Almost Walton's second interception of the night at 7th of the year. Instead, 1st and 15 at Harridge. Runs another completion. It's going to be close to getting all 15 as Anthony Park has his first catch of the night.
Do not forget for an instant that Chance Harridge is a fantastic competitor.
He can throw the ball. I'm not happy about that, saying no way that
almost always stoic Tyrone Willingham is human, and he knows that that kind of throw and catch is the way a team like Air Force can get right back in this game.
I like the little pole they got there, back there. A new deal.
So actually, it came out early 90s, the quick stick. You don't see it everywhere, but
we used it for a while in the Southeastern Conference, but everybody argued about the use of the quick stick. And so it went the way of all things that you try to use as innovation when you let linemen get involved. We had too many coaches that were former linemen.
That thing confused me already.
Me too.
The only thing important is they know how it works. Palmer in motion, out for the pitch. Just no breathing room for him at all night long. Well, the drama up to Act 3 and back on September 21st. As we mentioned, Carlyle Holiday had injured his shoulder. Dillingham, 60-yard catch and run, mostly run for Battle. A minute 15 to go. Irish won at 21-17. A week later, Air Force and Utah Harridge, 20 yards to Don Clark. 17 seconds to go. They pulled that one out 30-26 over the Utes. How will this one end? With a little under 5 minutes to go. Harridge going deep. Overthrows Park.
That's what I said. One play, guys. One play. And this is a tie ball game. It's Tyrone Willingham, Kent Bear, the D coordinator. They have to be sick that a receiver got behind that defense.
Can you believe he ran right by Shane Walton and Jerome Sapp, the two outstanding DBs, ran right by them. They threw this ball in Thursday's practice. There was a perfect throw, and Park caught it over his head, and that was the last play of the offensive practice, and the team cheered them off the field, but it was not to be in the game.
Thing is, Air Force doesn't throw it much. When they do, they hit you big. 15.6 yards per completion for the year. And that's how they get that whopping a number. Harridge calling time. So twice they've been so close to the one play they need to pull in.
Stamps. At supermarkets. Stamps. By phone. Stamps. Online. Stamps. At ATMs. Along with your local post office, wherever you find this symbol, you'll find stamps. Conveniently located. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service.
Jeff Gordon, a black SS with the navigation.
very funny.
What?
For that long road to maturity, we'll be there.
I'm Max Kellerman. I want to tell you about my new show. The idea is simple. People here think the people here don't know anything about sports. Around the Horn is going to bring sports experts together, and I'm keeping score.
Around the Horn, weekdays at 5 Eastern on ESPN.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Barry makes a big splash in his World Series debut. Can the Irish ground the Air Force Academy? And Saturday's top 10 plays. They're really good. SportsCenter, 10 Pacific, ESPN.
Air Force down 7, looking at 3rd down and 6. We want to welcome the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and all their families that make up U.S. Forces Japan. Watching our telecast on the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do in forging friendships and protecting the Pacific. Been something watching these 4,000 cadets preparing to protect our country. Here's 3rd and 5. Harridge on the option pitch. Don Clark driven down by Sapp, who has been masterful all night at taking the pitch.
Sapp is a dominating strong safety. He takes on his blocker, knocks him back, throws him off, and comes off and makes the play single-handedly.
This is a fantastic play off the block. The man who made Vontez Duff, 34, plays off his man and does a great job helping force it out of bounds with Sapp.
So after Air Force twice just misses open receivers for deep balls, they again have to punt. Barkers gets a roll this time, and Duck will have to watch this one go dead at the 6. 4:22 to go. A 57-yarder by Barker. SportsCenter will follow. Kenny Mayne and John Anderson. World Series underway. And highlights of this battle of unbeatens and the top 10 plays. Well, Notre Dame has dominated every way you can, and they have a 7-point lead.
But they have turned the ball over 3 times. They've committed some key penalties, and they've allowed a scrappy Air Force team to stay close. And even though Air Force is not playing their normal football game, they still got a chance.
They're there, and you know they're a 60-minute team, no doubt about it. That defense is going to try and come up big here. Notre Dame needs to put some time into a drive right now.
Holiday just missed 1 play. 4 of their 6 wins have been by 8 or less. Familiar territory for the Irish. And they'll try to use clock as Lopinski gets it out near the 10.
Now, Air Force has not executed their offense and defense as well as they normally do tonight, mainly because Notre Dame has played so well.
Right.
Notre Dame has not executed as well as they would have liked because they have put the ball on the ground 3 times. So which of these teams can win when they're not at their very best? That's how you have a great season. You have to play games when you aren't at your best, but somehow you find a way to win. Right now, as you say, Mike, Notre Dame needs a drive.
Harridge watching that clock. And watching his defense on the 2nd and 6. Grant. It'll be 3rd and 3. We have a record crowd of 56,409. That's about 4,000 over capacity tonight. 6-0 teams, Notre Dame and Air Force. Maybe the last battle head-to-head of unbeaten we'll have all year, unless Virginia Tech and Miami can get down to their final game of the year. Also unbeaten. Most anticipated matchup, most think, in the history of the Air Force Academy's football program. This will be a delay penalty against the Irish, and they'll back up to their 5. Air Force had an early 7-0 lead on a fumble return for a touchdown by Marcello Grady. They've gone back and forth. It's Notre Dame trying to run out the last 3:40.
And the very worst time for a drive killer type penalty. They took too long in the huddle. Notre Dame normally penalized about 52 yards a game. Bad times.
Second and 11. And again, they call on Grant, who gets the first down. A career night continues. 14 more yards for sophomore Ryan Grant. Now 177 on 27 carries.
Again, let's see when he's touched first. We talked about this O-line tonight. and how well they've played. Lipinski leading through, still not touched, still not touched, still not touched. There's the first time he's hit over 10 yards down the field. Great job by the O-line, the fullback, the tight ends. Again, smash mouth, West Coast offense. That's what we're seeing tonight out of Notre Dame.
He's run up against a team that has executed at least as well as his, and 20, 30 pounds a man bigger. Grant to the 22.
Mike, it looks a whole lot more like smash mouth than it does, West Coast.
Yeah, we may
That's almost an oxymoron. But they've, they've involved battles so that they've done some of that West Coast.
So we could keep the West Coast in.
Coming up, Sports Center on ESPN. College Game Day Scoreboard on ESPN2. That's at 1:30 Eastern. I mean, it's a game plan that Ara Parseghian would have been comfortable with tonight. I mean, just blast them out of the I formation time after time.
He wouldn't like those turnovers, but yeah, he would like this knocking them off the ball stuff.
We have been talking about the West Coast part of it, and Cattle has been a part of that.
At the 25, Grant gets the clock down right to 2 minutes. And Air Force will use its next to last timeout.
And in typical fashion, Air Force scratching, biting, digging, trying hard to knock the ball loose, fighting right down to the wire.
Boy, there's a man that's certainly, along with the rest of the team, giving his all. No doubt these guys leave it on the field.
Let's go down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, Fisher DeBerry has very limited time with his players. A typical day for an Air Force player starts with reveille at 6 a.m. and then breakfast. Classes fill the morning, and at 11:30 a.m. the players go to lunch, where DeBerry gets his first chance to meet and dine with his players. Then it's back to class until team meetings at 2:30. Practice runs from 3:20 to 5:20 sharp, because if players get to dinner even 15 seconds past 6:50, they have to find someplace else to eat, like getting a pizza somewhere. At 7, it's the Academy's version of study hall, so they can get to bed by 11 p.m. when it's lights out. That's the official lights out time on campus, so that they can get a few hours of sleep and get up the next morning to reveille at 6 and start all over again, Dave. Sounds kind of like Golick's schedule, doesn't it?
Michelle, there were not enough food lines in there for me, so I don't think it would have worked.
You know, the other thing is when they're seniors, they may take as many as 24, 26 academic hours per semester. You just think it's impossible somehow to do it. Flags everywhere. Flags are everywhere, and Holiday on that naked bootleg reached the 35.
Well, Air Force was just flying in from the sideline as Notre Dame was at the line of scrimmage. So did they run in with too many people?
It was a shocking lapse of discipline on Air Force's part. Regardless, yeah, illegal participation. Had too many people on the field.
There was confusion. You're right, Bill. What a bad time for some confusion.
I mean, it's amazing. The awful lot of people in blue shirts
2, 3,
out.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, I can count, okay? That's one too many.
You
Fantastic.
just don't see a DeBerry team do that sort of thing, and especially in this situation.
On the defense, 15 yards.
It's a 15-yarder.
Resolve the penalty. First down.
And regardless of that, it was an excellent play call by Notre Dame. The naked boot with Holiday. He had the first down.
So instead of a 3rd and 5 and a chance to force one more punt and have one more chance, it's the 22nd first down of the night for the Irish.
15 first downs to 7.
And that is the last Falcon timeout.
Stamps. At supermarkets. Stamps. By phone. Stamps. Online. Stamps. At ATMs. Along with your local post office, wherever you find this symbol, you'll find stamps. Conveniently located. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service.
This tale of 2 seasons about to wrap up with Act 4. And Carlyle Holiday, 53 yards for a key first half touchdown for Notre Dame to get their offense cranking. That's immediately after he had coughed up a fumble that Marcello Grady returned for a touchdown to get Air Force started with a 7-0 lead.
Wow, the Notre Dame offense, especially the running attack, really got on track tonight. There is no doubt the credit tonight to Kent Bear and that defense of Notre Dame, shutting down the #1 rushing attack in the country in Chance Harridge. 339 yards a game they average, and ND's defense just absolutely put the clamps on them tonight. Excellent discipline, excellent technique the whole night long.
Notre Dame's last 7-0 start, 1993, a near national championship year. They were 10-0 until they were upset on that late field goal by Boston College. Sports Center coming up next. ESPN News will have post-game coverage from Colorado Springs. Grant has been unstoppable all night long. And on his 30th carry, he gets to 191 yards. The other thing that's just remarkable is all 8 of Holiday's completions, 8 of 15 for 113, all to Arnez Battle. No one else has caught a pass from Carlyle Holiday today.
I'd like to correct one thing. These are not first downs. Those are the rankings coming in. I was looking for a graphic, and
it's
that
late.
was the only thing left up there. It's not that late. I do know the difference.
This is Air Force has been, what, second in the country at 34 minutes a game, and not tonight.
So all Holiday has to do, take a knee. Air Force out of timeouts, and the Irish count down the final minute. Take you back to the first missed field goal of the night by Setter from 41 yards, wide right. Some coaches will be a little more visibly upset. All Ty Willingham did is just have a real quiet word with a struggling kicker.
That stuff doesn't work with kickers. Tyrone is doing exactly the right thing. You keep that guy loose, he's going to win one for you before it's over.
Either that or he says something to him and then says, I'm going for it on 4th down next time.
You don't tell him that.
No, he said that to himself.
What a great win for Notre Dame. This is their best win of the year, in my opinion.
Well, Willingham said this week, by far the best team they have seen all year is Air Force, and they just do survive their own mistakes, dominating Fisher DeBerry's team statistically, but they settle for a 7-point win, 21-14, as Air Force, like Oregon early today, is knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten. So, with this win, they now have won 29 of their last 30 over Service Academy teams since 1986. Willingham, just the third first-year Irish head coach to start 7-0. It is their best, as we said, since '93. Third win this year over a ranked team, and Ty Willingham is with Michelle Tafoya.
Ty, every coach that has tried to take on Air Force this year has said it is virtually impossible to prepare for that triple option in a week, and yet you did it. Your defense was masterful. How did you do it in a week?
Well, first of all, we're blessed to have great coaches that put a great scheme in place, and our young men executed that scheme flawlessly. I mean, they ran hard, they executed, they kept their responsibilities, they were very disciplined, and in doing that, it allowed us to have success.
Your offense also had success. I knew you wanted to score more than maybe a touchdown in the second half, although that was all that it needed. But how did you dominate the line of scrimmage today?
Well, we were just fortunate. We played a good opponent, and domination might be a little too strong. But I think our guys played very hard and very consistent.
7-0, and yet it never seems to get any easier. You go to Florida State next week. How long do you let your players celebrate before you start to focus on the Seminoles?
Well, since we've got a late flight back, they don't have much time to celebrate with this one. We'll get back about 6 in the morning, and there's no time to celebrate. We'll just get to work on Florida State.
You said this was your toughest opponent. Congratulations on the big win, Ty.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back up to you, Dave.
All right, as always, very humble in victory. The Irish stay perfect, 7-0, as they defeat Air Force by 7, 21-14, our final tonight. before the record crowd of 56,409 at Falcon Stadium. Sports Center, Kenny Mayne and John Anderson coming up on ESPN. College Game Day scoreboard on ESPN2. For Bill Curry, Mike Golick, Michelle Tafoya, to whom we bid adieu. Good luck in the NBA. Dave Barnett, so long from Colorado Springs, Colorado.
This is Sports Center.
The moment has arrived, and Barry's waited 17 years to make the most of it. Will the luck of the Irish be enough to ground the Falcons? This Heisman hopeful had a day he'd sooner forget. Well, Nebraska does something that hasn't happened since Kennedy was in office. Big-time backs get big-time results in the Big Ten, and Tigers still lurking out in Disney's Wonderland. Out of the way, Sports Center on TV now.
Welcome to Sports Center. He's Kenny, I'm John. We're on a first-name basis. First up, first game of the World Series.
Far be it for us to handle that game. We weren't even there. Watched the game on an 8-inch Sony. Carl Ravitch, he watched in person. He's Mr. Baseball, 3-1.
Camera in action. We had that here. Lights, camera, home plate in action. Barry Bonds gets the job done for San Francisco in Game 1 of the World Series. He and Jason Schmidt proved to be the difference, and we didn't have an 8-inch Sony. We had a whole big ballpark right behind us, along with 44,000. Peter Gammons and Harold Reynolds had a front row seat to watch it as well. Welcome. We'll get the thoughts of them through the course of this highlight. And again, it was Barry Bonds' first World Series appearance. It was not the Giants as a franchise. It was the Angels' first World Series appearance. They waited some 4 decades to get here, and oh, the Thundersticks were ready to go, and they were making noise for 9 straight innings.
Got a thumping headache because of it. It was loud, loud, loud.
This was a great moment. Big chill. The stealth bomber flies overhead. Jared Washburn takes the mound for Anaheim, trying to keep his emotions in check. Jason Schmidt takes it for San Francisco. And on Friday, Barry Bonds let us all know what he would do if a pitcher made a mistake.
He may make that pitch that on his inches, and that's the pitch he got me out. But if he misses with those inches, that's the pitch I'm going to hit out.
Missed by an inch, he'll hit it a mile.
By an inch, he hit it in a pinch. He smoked that.
Harold going rhyme on us.
Well, it's the World Series. I'll break out some good stuff, man.
Barry missed a fastball earlier in the bat. He did not miss this one. And you need a good react, you go to Gene Klein's. He knew it right away. Later in the second one out, Reggie Sanders, contact.
Well, you know, the idea is you're supposed to get the ball up on Reggie Sanders to get it down. But the important thing for Reggie Sanders, all right, a mistake, he hits a mistake. It's not that easy.
Dusty, Kenny, top step, bottom 2 gloss. So we had 3 home runs in the second inning, which ties a World Series record for combined home runs in 1 inning. 3, 2-1 Giants. Jason Schmidt got a lead, and he got a cut in half. To the third, Adam Kennedy. He of the 3 home run tied Babe Ruth in a postseason game. Oy, nearly went yard here.
That was a great play, too, by Lofton and Sanders, because Adam Kennedy runs real well. He ended up at third base in that situation.
Good job by David Eckstein getting the ball to the right side. That moves Kennedy to third. The Angels are in business with a chance to tie this puppy up, but Jason Schmidt, who got in jams.
He came in and then went up out of the strike zone, made him expand his zone. They're a little anxious.
Tim Salmon, 97, didn't get behind it all, and Jason Schmidt works his way out of the third. Let's go to the fourth. Barry Bonds, second at bat. They answered the question all the way. We knew they were going to pitch to him.
Well, they sure did. One of the few times you're going to see Barry a little undisciplined, chasing the ball out of the zone. Got him there.
They played a huge shift, having the 3 infielders to one side of second base. Spezia will double down the line. Garrett Anderson has to hold up at third.
Because of an exceptional play by Reggie Sanders in the corner.
Well, I was so impressed with the Giants' defensive alignment all night. A play like that and positioning here. Ground balls, they were constantly in front of them. Line drives to the outfield. They were standing there in place. You know, Pat Dobson does a great job of advance scouting for them. He didn't advance this, though, Carl.
Nobody does. How about JT Snow sliding on what was once his home field?
Harold, I've never seen this before.
I've never seen it either. I mean, you don't see that anywhere. To get back up, stay calm, pick up that ball, and make the play. And I can understand Tim was praying for that ball to fall back down. That's a big out in that situation.
Certainly was. And speaking of Mr. Snow, job.
Well, he had a 7-pitch at bat and a 10-pitch at bat that helped get Washburn up to 100 pitches. He was right over 100 there, and he went to hit the home run.
His night was over, but Troy Glaus wasn't. Second home run of the night. 43rd multi-home run game in World Series history, 6 in a losing effort.
I was going to say, I think the Giants learned a huge lesson. Adam Kennedy and Garrett and Troy Glaus are about as hot as any hitters you're going to face. Talk about pitching around Barry. You got to pick your spots when you pitch to certain guys.
It's a 4-3 ball game thanks to that Kennedy RBI. Kenny Lofton lofts one into left. Garrett Anderson. Boy, we saw this in Game 3 of the LCS.
Well, everybody's seen it in the American League for 3 years. He's the best left fielder in the league.
Well, Kenny, man, we had a great seat for that because we saw him get a great jump. You were watching on Sony.
Bottom bullpen here comes in, and Weber gets Sanders swinging. In the 8th, Timmy Worrell got some problems, but Orlando Palmeiro, a new daddy on Friday, and the emotions sort of come back to earth, at least as far as his profession goes, not his personal life, but he flies out there into the 9th. Rob Nen, no problema. He looked strong.
10 outs for the Giants.
And we talk about 8 days rest. The days off helped Rob Nen as much as anybody. The Giants used Rob Nen in the 8th and 9th inning in a lot of ball games. He needed the rest.
Well, San Francisco wins on the road. Not a huge shock. The Angels lose Game 1. Not a huge shock. As far as World Series history goes, only 2 of the last 7 to win Game 1 on the road ultimately went on to win the World Series. But of the last 5 Game 1 winners, they've all gone on to win the World Series. Many comments from all the players after the game. We begin with Barry Bonds, who's with Dan Shulman.
Barry, your first World Series game, the introductions, the home run, the win. Tell us about the emotions of tonight.
I just feel like both sides are ready to play. You know, we're not football players. We don't play, you know, once a week. So, you know, the anticipation was a little bit tough for everybody. You know, JT had a big home run for us in Game 1. You know, the only thing out of Game 1 is that we get to at least play 4 more games. They're going to win 4, or we can minimize it.
What did you know about Washburn going in, and what were you looking for in that first at-bat?
You know, really, you know, we don't know them that well because we only got to face those guys a little bit during spring training, and, you know, interleague got moved over, so, you know, it's a fill-out process. You know, he's a good pitcher. You know, maybe a little bit strong with the layoff, but, you know, he's a good pitcher, good kid.
Seems you guys are involved in more close games than any team in baseball. You ever get used to all these nervous 9s?
Why change it? That's how we play. You know, that's what keeps this team up. You know, we don't like comfortable leads.
He hit a home run. Yeah, I had to chuckle. Kind of say to myself, hey, I guess he is good.
Seems like it's been a different guy every night or every game. Somebody's coming through big, and that's a sign of a good team. And tonight was my chance, and, you know, who knows who it'll be tomorrow.
You need 4 games to win this series. We didn't help ourselves tonight, but, you know, we will bounce back and play a good game tomorrow. I know this club, and tonight we did a lot of things like we needed to, and you know, those guys on the mound, when there were some key at-bats, they made some clutch pitches.
You saw the graphic there. Mike Scioscia's team loses for the first time in the postseason at home, so they're 5-1. The Giants are 5-1 on the road in the postseason. But they were down, the Angels, before, Peter, in the postseason series this year.
The only difference is they have to go to Pac Bell and not come home.
That's true. 40 years and 4 days. That's how long it's been since the Giants last won a World Series game. They do it again in Game 1. Much more on Barry Bonds and the Giants bullpen later.
Still ahead on your Sony or Zenith or Magnavox or whatever. Notre Dame Air Force Battle of Unbeatens. Too close to comfort for Maurice Claret. Why this Heisman hopeful, maybe a Heisman has been. You thought Chris Carter was done catching nothing but touchdowns. You could be mistaken. He might be back in the NFL as early as next week. And we'll return to Anaheim for plenty more on Game 1 of the World Series where the Giants lead 1-0.
From John Woo, director of Mission Impossible 2 and Face Off, starring Academy Award winner Nicolas Cage.
My responsibility!
A full-throttle, heart-pounding action thriller.
Get out of here!
Wind Talkers. Buy or rent it today.
Rated E for everyone. Welcome to NFL Fever 2003. Here it is. Sips of pass. Hello. NFL Fever 2003. Only on Xbox. For more gridiron action, play online with Xbox Live.
To film a surf movie, try to con one of your friends into sitting on the beach and filming you instead of going surfing. Nothing spectacular, just cruising. sort of really basic surf stuff. Just some small, perfect little waves. My everyday thing, really. Put music to it, put captions in, and I've never done that stuff before. And it took me about an hour to edit. Pretty easy. iMovie program is so simple to use. My name's Kelly Slater. I'm a professional surfer.
Sports Center, brought to you by Time Warner.
I am feeling it. At the start of this fine college football day, there were 10 undefeated teams. There's room for only 2 in the Fiesta Bowl. 2 of the undefeated were at Falcon Stadium Saturday night, Notre Dame Air Force. Actually, neither team does much through the air. The Irish are 102nd in the country in passing, and the Falcons throw it only 10 times a game. But at least they can fly their own planes. The Irish had to take a charter from South Bend to Colorado Springs. Winner here would have to run the ball. Both teams were winners in the Sports Center Showcase highlight voting. That's Ty Willingham leading his team out. First quarter, Carlyle Holiday just gets popped there by John Hicks. Look out, it's the guy you never see that's a problem. That's a fumble. Scooped up going the other way for Air Force. Touchdown, 7-0. Still first quarter, Notre Dame trailing 7-0. Holiday gonna bounce back. They'll just run. Like people are chasing him. Good block there, and big number 7. He is going through the house for 6. The PAT would be good. I'm trying to make the story. Second quarter, score tied. Notre Dame's offensive line taking over. Holiday drops back. He's got an alley there. Pardon me?
Follow that arrow.
Yeah, well, it's actually like they draw it up in the playbook. The arrows are right there on the field. Then watch the 298-pound center, Jeff Bain, take out Brandon Conyers. Only goes about 245. He blocks him, and he's going to go back like 7 yards, allowing Marcus Wilson to run for 7 yards. Now back fullback Tom Lipinski, see them? Anthony Schlegel. He gets whacked like Ernie Schlegel, the bowler. Ryan Grant, 18-yard touchdown run. He had 190 on the night. End of the first half. Quit talking to each other. It's rude. Chance Harridge, Shane Walton. Here's Harridge. He's not going to want to talk about this. 6 of 14, 56 yards. He threw an interception right there. Late in the fourth, Irish had 21-14. 3rd and 5, Harridge to Don Clark. Clark blasted by Jerome Sapp. That would force a punt. Air Force wouldn't get it back. 21-14. Notre Dame wins. They win, but we won for the tie.
We're blessed to have great coaches that put a great scheme in place, and our young men executed that scheme flawlessly. I mean, they ran hard, they executed, they kept their responsibilities, they were very disciplined, and in doing that, it allowed us to have success. We were just fortunate. We played a good opponent, and domination might be a little too strong, but I think our guys played very hard and very consistent.
Iowa State and Oklahoma. Iowa State 0-48-2 all-time against top 5 teams. That's why the guys look so confident. And then the punt is blocked. It's blocked, and it's not good. Anthony Forrest tried to kick it out of the end zone, but he missed. Terrence Sims recovers. Oklahoma's out 7-0. First quarter, same score. Second 11, Oklahoma, and Iowa State's 15. Quentin Griffin. This guy's quick. He cuts on dimes. Stayed up. Good hand-down technique. So how would the Heisman hopeful Seneca Wallace try to respond? That's the question. Here's the answer. Not so well. Rolling. A lot of time to do something. Cranks it out there. Deep for Lance Young, but broken up. Brandon Everidge, good play. Another look to see how women 19-26 feel. Iowa State punting. Next, Iowa State possession, same score. Wallace out of shotgun. A little pressure here, and then he's down on the floor. Everidge in there on him. Iowa State had to punt again. Second quarter, Iowa State's down 21-0. Wallace rolling. Everidge all over the place. Reverse skate. Wallace is crestfallen. Everidge is okay with it. Led to a touchdown for Oklahoma. 28-0. Going to throw into double coverage. Brett Favre can do that, but he throws it harder. Straight gets the interception. Bob Stoops likes what he's seeing. Oklahoma forcing the turnover. Third quarter is 35-3. Little play fake. Wallace throwing. Everidge. This should be the showcase. Or he should be the showcase anyway. Athletic, got that foot in. Let's hear what Lee Corso had to say. Lee likes to throw out some keys to the game.
Oklahoma's speed and athletic ability on defense took Seneca Wallace out of this ball game and maybe out of the Heisman race. When it comes to a big ball game, Oklahoma's defense plays better than anybody else in the nation, period.
Oklahoma getting the big win. It was a rainy day. How about this? Career day for Seneca Wallace, who wants to be a male nurse. No, he wants to be a good quarterback. Usually is, but not on Saturday. He set career worst in completions, percentage, passing yards, rushing yards, and picks. Not a swell thing.
Arizona State at undefeated Oregon, at least for the next minute and 42 seconds. Ducks up 7-0. Adding to it, Ontario Smith, 57 yards for the touchdown. They didn't catch him. 172 yards, 3 TDs in the game for Smith. 14-zip Oregon. Third quarter, Jason Fife. His team's down 28-17. Throws it to George Reister. Reister's a big old boy.
He's large.
50 yards. He rumbled, but he got to the painted grass. 35-17. Andrew Walter, Sean McDonald. He was open a lot. McDonald, 12 catches, 204 yards. Arizona State makes a 2-point conversion. It's 35-32. Fourth quarter, Smith fumbles. Not good. Guys in the white shirt have it. They're the visitors. It's always nice to be good to the visitors. Ensuing drive, Walter, Justin Taplin is open. 58 yards. If you get tired of watching them, go ahead and cover them. Arizona State in the lead, 39-35, first time all day. Now 42-35, Fife, Sammy Parker got it. Fife, 3 touchdowns. We're tied at 42. Walter throws to McDonald. Walter, 536 yards passing, 4 TDs. Bring in Matt Barth to try and kick the go-ahead field goal.
Boat.
It's not a boat. It's clean. It's good. It's the money ball. 45-42. Barth is fired up. He won a vote. Fife comes out. Chance to lead a drive for Oregon. Actually, gave him a vote. That'd be like some sort of NCAA violation. Oh, yeah. He is hit, popped, and is picked off by Sparky Brett Hudson. Going the other way. Arizona State wouldn't score. They would just run out the clock. 45-42. Smith, Oregon suffered their first loss of the year. ASU still undefeated in the pack.
The Ohio State and Wisconsin, the young one, Maurice Claret. Not yet in the NFL. He's in Madison here. First play from scrimmage. Claret racing. 25-yarder. Cutting back all over people. He's going to set up a touchdown. He finished with a $133 on the ground. Wisconsin has a running back also. Anthony Davis on the draw. Nice movement, good blocking, and this guy's fast. 41 yards, beat them all. Finished with 144. Game tied at 7, fourth quarter. 14-13 Badgers, 3rd and 6 OSU. Craig Krenzel throwing it up. Michael Jenkins. Air ball. Came down with it. Good play in between people. Same drive. Krenzel faking the toss here. Going to find the tight end, Ben Hartsock, wide open, 3-yard score, 19-14. Badgers need a big play. 3rd and 11. Jim Sorgen got a man open.